12 years after crossing over to the Dolawa continent, I awakened blue silvergrass just like Tang San, and I also have a second spirit. But he brought the Tang sect's unique skills with him. He could use hidden weapons to subdue Zhao Wuji as soon as he entered Shrek. Meanwhile, I was picked up by Flender and spent 6 years here. I'm level 31 now, but I've always been treated as just a little assistant who only knows healing. That all changed the day the protagonist group gathered. I watched Tang San show off his skills, and then I heard a system prompt in my ear. I just knew my dragon life had finally begun. At that moment, on the playground of Shrek Academy, Zhao Wuji was being beaten by Tang San, his clothes flying everywhere. Darts, silver needles, and various unnamed hidden weapons rained down on Zhao Wuji's face. I leaned against a tree trunk by the playground, my purple hair blown a little messy by the wind, watching with great interest. I have to admit that Tang sect hidden weapons are really something. Zhao Wuji is clearly a spirit saint who suppressed his realm to accompany them in the assessment, yet he was still annoyed by Tang San's set of moves. Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing beside me were stunned, but I felt more and more jealous. We're both time travelers. Tang San has the Xintian Gong, Xian Yusho, and Gui Mi Yin Zong, and a brain full of hidden weapon blueprints. I came to this Dolawa continent by accident 12 years ago. I awakened twin spirits at the age of 6, one blue silvergrass and one evil fire snake, with innate 5th level spirit power. It sounds impressive, but in reality, I and Ma Hongjun were taken back to Shrek Academy by Flender. I spent almost all these 6 years cultivating blue silvergrass. Now I'm level 31, with 1 yellow and 2 purple spirit rings. The most common thing I do in the academy is to heal Dai Mu Bai, and the others replenish their physical strength and clean up. As for my second spirit tea, he fiery snake because it has no spirit rings and the evil fire is too troublesome. It's basically just a decoration. I sighed. Different people have different fates. Tang San came with his previous life skills, while I can only be a small assistant here. We're both time travelers. Why don't I have a system? As soon as I thought that, a crisp prompt sound suddenly exploded in my mind. Ding, the system is loaded successfully. This system is called the system of receiving talismans. I jumped up from under the tree. There really is a system. A light blue light curtain unfolded in front of me. My sourness was instantly washed away by excitement. The newbie package has been distributed. Please collect it later. The system rules are as follows. The system can detect the heroine's favorability for the host. None of the heroines has a full level of favorability towards the host. The host will receive a random talisman and extra rewards. The talisman ability cannot be used by the host, but only for the exclusive heroine. After obtaining a heroine, the host can get extra rewards. The rewards will change with the host's strength. My smile froze on my face. What does it mean? I can't use the talisman, the horse talisman, the dog talisman, the dragon talisman, and other abilities, aren't they all for others? I finally got the cheat, but its first reaction was to ask me to give benefits to heroines. This is too outrageous, but it's better than nothing. I stared at the panel, unable to help but have a little expectation. The heroine only gives talismans when she likes me. The extra reward should be something useful. I took a deep breath and reached out to click on the newbie gift package. Do you want to open the newbie gift package? I opened it without hesitation. Open successfully. Get blue silvergrass spirit, 1 bloodline evolution. Get evil fire snake spirit, 1 bloodline evolution. Get 3 god-given spirit rings. Get a chance to choose an external spirit bond. Get rewards. Forced to open dual spirits at the same time. God-given spirit ring means the spirit ring will automatically match the spirit attribute and grant the most suitable spirit skills. The age of the spirit ring will increase with the host's strength. I stared at those lines, my breathing becoming heavier. Spirit rings and spirit bones can evolve spirits. Even the trouble of not being able to use twin spirit abilities simultaneously can be forcibly changed by the system. Who just complained that the system is useless? Sorry, I was the one who said that. At this moment, I don't think Tang San's hidden weapons are good. What darts, silver needles? Without Lu Gao helping create high-level hidden weapons, when the real strong make a move, those things can only bully low-level spirit masters. But spirit evolution is different. The god-given spirit rings are different, and external spirit bones are even more different. I almost wanted to claim the reward on the spot. The moment my fingertips stopped above the button, I suddenly calmed down. No, I can't claim it now. I don't know where Tang How hide his big hammer. Iced art at Tang San. If my blue silvergrass bloodline evolves and turns into blue silver emperor, would he jump out and think I'm some unexpected bloodline of silver? At that time, even if I explain that I have nothing to do with silver, Tang How probably won't listen. I silently put away the panel and gave myself a thumbs up. Fortunately, I didn't get carried away by excitement. Good things should be taken secretly when no one is around. On the other side, the battle between Tang San and Zhao Wuji was almost over. The playground was like a silver snowfall, and the ground was covered with hidden weapons. Zhao Wuji's clothes were torn in several places, and his face looked not good. Although there were no dragon whisker needles this time, he wasn't as embarrassed as before, but the means that Tang San showed were enough to shock everyone. Zhao Wuji stared at Tang San, frowning. Why is your blue silver grass poisonous? The ability of entanglement. Why do you cultivate it as a spirit ability? Tang San's tense expression suddenly relaxed. When it comes to blue silvergrass, there was even a hint of pride in his eyes. This is the route my teacher has planned for me. He is a famous theoretical master in the spirit master world. Without my teacher, my blue silvergrass would be just a useless spirit. It was my teacher who gave it a new life. Zhao Wuji waved his hand impatiently after hearing a few words. Okay, I'm not asking you so much. I almost laughed out loud. Tang San never stopped talking about his teacher and master, which made Zhao Wuji's head almost smoke. Poison attribute, entanglement, and parasitism. These moves are indeed troublesome for low-level spirit masters. Zhao Wuji has seen blue silvergrass before. I practiced under his nose for 6 years. He knows it better than anyone. Blue silvergrass doesn't have to follow Tang San's path. Sure enough, Zhao Wuji turned around and shouted at me, "Come and treat me quickly." I focused my mind and walked over slowly. As soon as I approached, Ning Rongrong came up first. She blinked and looked at me with a cheerful tone. I said, "Why are you so fair-skinned?" "So you are a healing spirit master." She had seen me when she signed up. I was in charge of registration and led them to the playground. Probably because my face is not bad-looking, she was obviously more familiar with me than others. I smiled. "Do you need treatment too?" "My spirit ability can also replenish physical strength." "Okay." Ning Rongrong's eyes lit up. "Let me see what effect your skill has." I spread out my right hand, and spirit power flowed through my meridians. A blue grass appeared from my palm. Unlike Tang San's blue silvergrass with poison attribute, different from the dark blue silvergrass like vines, my blue silvergrass is cleaner and more slender. The leaves are slender and blue all over, with silver patterns faintly floating on them. When gently swaying, a soft life breath diffused like a blue halo. Tang San's face changed suddenly. "Your spirit is also blue silvergrass?" I glanced at him. "Aren't there many blue silvergrass spirit masters on the continent? What's the problem?" I ignored him and turned to Ning Rongrong. "Hand it to me." Ning Rongrong obediently stretched out her wrist. A yellow, 2 purple, and 3 blue rings rose from my feet. 3 spirit rings. The blue silver grass in my palm wrapped around her wrist. The first spirit ability is Life Tide. The soft blue light lit up like breathing. A stream of life energy flowed into her body through the grass leaves. Ning Rongrong was caught off guard, her shoulders trembling slightly, and her cheeks turning red instantly. She quickly covered her mouth, her eyes panicked. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." I held back my laughter. "It's okay. My life energy is relatively strong. It's a little uncomfortable to touch for the first time. You endure it." Everyone was attracted by this healing blue silvergrass. Even the yellow and purple spirit rings under my feet, no one reacted to them at the first time. Ning Rongrong's physical strength quickly recovered, and her face turned from tired to rosy. Zhu Chuqing stood nearby with a cold face, but her eyes were obviously shaken. She had also fought just now and had a lot of physical exhaustion, but seeing Ning Rongrong's reaction, she was a little hesitant. I looked at her. "If you also want to restore your stamina, just stretch out your wrist." Zhu Chuqing frowned slightly, seeming curious or on guard. Ning Rongrong whispered to Zhu Qing at this time, "You should try it. It's really comfortable." Only then did Zhu Qing tentatively stretch out her wrist. "I don't need much, just a little treatment." I nodded and controlled the blue silver grass to wrap around her. The second spirit ability is Life Tide. The purple spirit ring lit up. More abundant life energy than before flowed into her body through the blue silver grass. Zhu Qing was ready, but her body still uncontrollably softened. She immediately raised her hand to cover her mouth and forcibly suppressed the sound. Her ears turned red visibly. "Enough, no need for so much." I withdrew my spirit power in time. The physical strength and all power of the 2 girls were quickly replenished, and their faces looked much better than before. I didn't continue to tease them and offer them a way out. "Okay, you go and rest over there. This assessment is over. I'll take you to the dormitory area." Ning Rongrong and Zhu Qing looked at each other and both felt a little uncomfortable. Finally, they retreated to the edge of the playground. I looked at Zhao Wuji. He raised his hand, obviously waiting for me to treat him. I separated a blue silvergrass leaf from my palm and handed it to him to hold and absorb. "I'll go first." Zhao Wuji's face darkened but took it, but Tang San was stunned. The separated leaf could still retain its healing ability. His eyes suddenly became hot when looking at me, as if he saw a new direction for cultivation. "Please treat me and Xiao Wu." I wanted to refuse, but I thought Xiao Wu was also one of the heroines and the ridiculous rules of the system, so I still took a leaf from my palm and handed it to him. "Hold it in your palm and absorb the healing energy inside." When Tang San took the grass leaf, he was very excited. I looked at the unconscious Xiao Wu. "As for your sister, I need to use blue silver grass to wrap her wrist. Can I?" Tang San's face suddenly froze. As a blue silver grass spirit master, he certainly knew what I meant. The blue silver grass feedbacks touch. The grass leaves wrapped around Xiao Wu's wrist in a way. It's like I'm holding her wrist with my own hands. Tang San was silent for 2 or 3 seconds before he said, "Okay, be careful." I nodded, and the blue silver grass gently wrapped around Xiao Wu's right hand. Tang San's eyes were fixed on me and Xiao Wu for fear that I would do something extra. I ignored his gaze. The third spirit ability, Life Tide, was used. More vigorous life force than the previous 2 times, like a surging river, flowed into the unconscious Xiao Wu's body. The blue silver grass connecting us no longer just flickered but bloomed a strong blue light. Ning Rongrong's body tensed up. Can Xiao Wu endure it? Zhu Qing stared at the blue light, her voice becoming lower. "She is in a coma now. There shouldn't be too violent a reaction, right? The two girls had fear in their eyes and uncontrollable curiosity. Tang San was worried about Xiao Wu, observing my blue silvergrass as if he wanted to understand the whole treatment process. Time passed bit by bit. Xiao Wu's originally frowning brows due to backlash gradually stretched, and the pain on her face gradually eased. Her body had actually recovered to its peak, but she just fell into a coma. Her body was constantly being washed by life energy. The intense sense of comfort made her subconsciously think she was still dreaming. I frowned slightly and deliberately increased the output of soul power. The body of a 10,000-year-old spirit beast is indeed strong. Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing held each other's hands with their eyes wide open. Tang San was still thinking about why the effects of the three spirit abilities are so similar. Xiao Wu murmured in a daze, "Is it a dream? It must be a dream." The next moment, she finally woke up from the coma and was stimulated by the surging life tide in her body, which made her tremble all over. A high-pitched voice cut through the playground. Everyone froze. Tang San suddenly looked up. Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing held each other's hands and even forgot to let go of the pain in their fingertips. I immediately disconnected my spirit power and withdrew blue silvergrass with an innocent expression. "I'm just a healing spirit master." Who could have thought that Xiao would suddenly wake up? At dusk, the entire Shrek Academy was disturbed by the quarrel in the back mountain. "Brother, listen to me. I really thought I was dreaming at that time." "Shut up. I told you to shut up." The voices of Tang San and Xiao Wu could be heard in the dormitory from dozens of meters away. In the girls' dormitory, Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing looked at each other with complex emotions in their eyes. In the boys' dormitory, Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun, and Oscar all looked at me at the same time. Dai Mubai supported his forehead. "Tell me how many people you have hurt unintentionally. I told you before, your blue silvergrass's life energy is too domineering. Who can stand it?" Ma Hongjun also joined in. "It's just that Tang San has hidden weapons on his waist. You should be careful recently." Oscar sighed. "Who understands us auxiliary spirit masters? Even healing people can cause trouble. Isn't it a typical medical dispute? I'm helpless." Who knew the little rabbit was reacting randomly in a half-awake state? I thought the treatment effect wasn't enough, so I thought to give more. Several people sat around in the dormitory with different expressions. They have known me for many years and subconsciously stood on my side. After all, I have healed them a lot over the years and replenished their physical strength. I'm not a bad person. I just did what a healing spirit master shall. LD do. Dai Mubai was silent for a moment and said seriously, "Ling Yin, don't live alone recently. Move in with me and Fatty. I'm afraid Tang San will attack you in the middle of the night." Ma Hongjun nodded quickly. "Yeah, you're an auxiliary spirit master with no combat power and you don't have spirit rings for your second spirit. If you're blocked by that guy, you'll suffer a lot." Oscar's face darkened. "You said that? I don't even dare to live in the same room with Tang San. What if he goes crazy and takes me with him at night? I'm also a support spirit master." Dai Mubai rolled his eyes at him. "You're crappy sausage. Who cares? But if you live with Tang San, if he really does something, remember to stop him. If it's not possible, come and tell us." Watching them, I felt a little warm. I haven't wasted all these years, but let me hide? That's impossible. I smiled and sat up straight. "Thank you for your concern, but I won't quit. I just did what a treatment spirit master should do. If I back down this time, it would be like admitting my mistake." I looked at them and said word by word, "You ask yourself, am I really wrong?" The dormitory suddenly became quiet. I continued. I had a clear conscience. If Tang San really wants to take revenge on me, let him come. If I, Ling Yin, have any fear, I'm not a man. Dai Mubai's eyes suddenly changed. It seemed that he was hit by my words. As a prince of New Rome, he fled to Shrek, wasn't it because he lacked courage in the face of cruel royal rules? He stared at me and suddenly stood up. "Ling Yin, I support you. I, Dai Mubai, will always stand by your side. If Tang San dares to touch you, I will use the power of the royal family to suppress him." Ma Hongjun and Oscar were shocked. "Dai, what are you doing?" Dai Mubai ignored them. He raised his hand and patted his chest and pointed at me. "Brothers are in heart." I was confused. Why did this guy suddenly become so passionate? But the atmosphere was already here. I could only get up and shake his outstretched hand. "Brothers are in heart." Ma Hongjun and Oscar also stood up. The four hands overlapped heavily. "Brothers are in heart." In the dim dormitory, Dai Mubai's eyes were burning, as if he had regained some courage. Ma Hongjun and Oscar were a little pleased, probably feeling that they had somehow embraced the royal thigh. Only I was forced to do it, but I accepted this kindness. After dark, the dormitory area finally became quiet. I returned to my small room. I paid the villagers nearby to build this room. It's not big, but it's clean. There are many gadgets I made in my previous life, such as buckets for ice and hot water bags. More importantly, I occasionally take golden glue. It's inconvenient to live with others. The moonlight shines through the window. I close the door and take a long breath. Finally, I can open the system panel. Now I'm alone. Spirit ring, spirit bone, spirit evolution. After I receive all the rewards, I'm afraid a little punk will take revenge. Tang San's hidden weapons are really annoying, but when two spirits are open together, we're his darts. Looking at the 5 rewards on the panel, I plan carefully. Blue silver grass bloodline evolution can't be touched now. It's too risky. If the blue silver emperor's breath is really produced, trouble will come. So I'll start with the fiery snake. As long as the second spirit ring is obtained, I won't be just an auxiliary spirit master in everyone's eyes. As for the external spirit bone, I'll choose the most suitable one after the spirit evolves. I took a deep breath. I received the system to evolve the evil fire snake spirit. I have received the qualification for evolution. Please select the evolution direction. 1. Evolution into fiery snake. Evolution into a fire python. 2nd, evolution form, evolution into the evil fire dragon. 3. Add random attributes. The evolution result is pending. I looked at the second option. My eyes lit up. Evolving from snake to dragon. No need to choose. Evolution of fiery fire is indeed stable. I know the Binghua eyes have herbs to deal with evil fire. The most important thing now is to log in. I choose 2, and a stream of energy floats out of the light curtain and directly rushes into my body. The next second, the evil fire snake spirit appeared. Dark purple flames rushed up from behind me. The original snake-like phantom began to be reshaped inch by inch. Meridians were widened, and soul power was washed away. Even my blood was like being ignited by flames. There was no pain throughout the process, but instead, there was an indescribable pleasure. Half a minute later, a dragon phantom with dark purple flames wrapped around slowly unfolded in the room. It has dragon wings on its back with 2 horns on its head. It's a pure dragon. The air was oppressed and seemed to be heavier. I looked up at it, my heart beating faster. The evil fire dragon is terrifying. From this moment on, my second spirit ability is no longer an ordinary evil fire snake. It is enough to stand on the same level as the top spirits like the clear sky hammer. The evil fire is indeed good. When I get the fairy grass, this flaw will sooner or later become a new power. With a thought, the evil fire dragon spirit possessed me. The dragon phantom rushed into my body. The raging flames swept through my meridians. The high temperature airwaves spread in the room. I clenched my fists, clearly feeling the power condensing in my palm. Who understands? I've been a little assistant for 6 years, and in I finally touched the threshold of a battle spear master. I couldn't contain the excitement and laughed alone in the room for a while. Let's check the panel again. Next, I absorbed the spirit ring. The system gave me 3 God-given spirit rings, which just make up the first 3 spirit rings of the fire dragon. I took out the first one. The moment the golden light ball entered my meridian, purple spirit ring rose from my feet. It was so fast that I didn't even have time to react. The information of the spirit ability also flooded into my mind. After the first spirit ability, Dragon Fist is activated. Flames cover both fists, and attack power and attack speed are greatly improved. Each attack comes with a flame explosion. Standard attack type. The spirit ability is perfect. I immediately absorbed the remaining 2. But to my surprise, when all 3 spirit rings were formed, the original purple spirit ring turned yellow. Yellow, yellow, yellow. 300-year spirit rings were slowly revolving around the evil fire dragon. I was stunned for a moment. Then I reacted. God-given spirit rings will automatically match the age. My body can't support 3,000-year spirit rings now, so they temporarily push to the most suitable state for me. It's not a bad thing. When my physical strength improves, the age of spirit rings will naturally grow. This system is quite user-friendly. Finally, it's the external spirit bone. I chose the dragon wing based on the form of the fire dragon. The dark purple bone wings merge into my back and gradually integrated with my body. All night, I was adapting to the evolved martial spirit, 3 spirit rings, and the newly acquired dragon wings. Until the next evening, I opened my eyes completely. The gorgeous dark purple dragon wings slowly retracted. All breaths returned to calm. I clenched my fists. It feels great to have power. No wonder so many people are desperate to become spirit masters. Now there is only one problem left. How to explain it? I live under the watchful eye of Master Flender. I suddenly have 3 more spirit rings and a spirit change. I can't say it was given by the system. I was thinking when Ma Hongjuan's voice came from outside the door. Dean Flender asked if you were going to the spirit arena. I quickly sorted out my thoughts. Wait for me. Today, it should be the day that Shrek Academy enters the spirit arena. I put on my clothes and pushed the door out, seeing Ning Rongrong crying and running back to the dormitory. I walked to the already assembled team and asked Ma Hongjun in a low voice what happened to Ning Rongrong. Ma Hongjun pouted. She has a temper. The dean asked her to run laps during the day, but she went shopping in Shrek City halfway through and was scolded B. Why the dean? They almost fought just now. I immediately understood. In the original track, Ning Rongrong was criticized by Flan tonight, and her pride and edges were worn away little by little. The little princess of Qibao Luli sect finally became a supporting role in the team. This path is not completely wrong, but I always felt it was a pity. She should have been proud and confident, with a little bit of devilish personality. So I looked at Dean Flender. You go to the spirit arena first. I want to see Ning Rongrong. We are classmates. I'll comfort her. I paused and added, by the way, remember to sign me up for a one-on-one spirit fight. Flender looked at me and nodded in agreement. He probably felt that his words were too harsh and now someone is taking over this mess. He was happy. After everyone left the academy, I came to the door of the girls' dormitory. There was a suppressed sobbing sound inside. I knocked a few times, but there was no response. I pushed the door open. After confirming that there was no one inside, I pushed the door open completely. Ling Yin. Ning Rongrong looked up at me, her eyes red, her face full of tears. She looked aggrieved and embarrassed. I moved a chair and sat opposite her. Before I could speak, she asked me in a choked voice, "Are you here to laugh at me?" I didn't answer. I just summoned blue silvergrass and gently wrapped it around her wrist. The first spirit ability was released gently. A little blue light flowed into her body along the grass to relieve her numb limbs from crying and slowly eased her tense emotions. Ning Rongrong sniffed, and her voice was lower. They all think I have a bad temper, and am capricious. Flender said I have a princess disease and said I would disgrace the 7 treasure glazed tower. I asked him what he thought. He looked up. I want to change myself. I also want to integrate into the college. I want to be protected by the strong like my father. I looked at him and sighed in my heart. He had been moved by what Flan said. He began to feel that he must put away his pride to be accepted by others. But I don't think so. Sword de Loi and Bone de Loi have held you in their palms for so many years. If they knew that because of a few words, you deny yourself, they would be very sad. Ning Rongrong was stunned. I continued. The so-called princess disease is just that you have never been owed by life. Your pride is. The confidence given by Qibao Luli sect, and also your innate capital. Tears flashed in her eyes. What do you mean? I slowed down my tone. You were scolded by the dean for slacking off during training. You were indeed wrong about this. What you need to change is laziness, willfulness, and arrogance. But you shouldn't lose your self-esteem and pride. And you shouldn't change yourself to please others and become someone's vassal. Ning Rongrong looked at me intently. I could tell that she listened to me. I asked, have you ever thought that even as a support spirit master, you can also be independent and stand on your own? Her body unconsciously leaned forward. These 4 words obviously touched the deepest desire in her heart. She left Qibao Luli sect. Didn't she just want to prove herself? But soon the light in her eyes dimmed again. But I'm just an auxiliary spirit master. I laughed instead. What's wrong with being a support spirit master? The amplification of the 7 treasure glazed pagoda. I smiled. Ning Rongrong nodded. I looked at her and said word by word, since the power amplification can be added to you, why can't your fists be more lethal? Since speed boost can be added to you, why can't your steps be more flexible? Everyone regards the 7 treasure glazed tower as a tool to add states to others, but why can its light only illuminate others? The room was completely silent. Ning Rongrong seemed to see a path that no one has ever told her. Her eyes lit up little by little. Yes, the auxiliary effect of the 7 treasure glazed tower. I can use it myself. Then why can't I assist myself, conquer myself, and then have combat power? She became more and more excited and suddenly looked up at me. How did you come up with these ideas? Does your blue silvergrass have a similar effect? I shook my head. My blue silvergrass is just a healing type. My real attack method is my second spirit. Ning Rongrong's eyes widened instantly. My second spirit. I nodded. The twin spirit thing is not a secret in the academy. Daimu Bai and the others all know. I will show it sooner or later. There's no need to hide it from him. Rongrong's eyes, which were still filled with tears just now only showed shock. I didn't continue to show off. I just stood up and put the chair back in place. You digest what I just said by yourself. I went to the spirit arena. When I reached the door, I summoned blue silver grass again and injected the life energy of the 3rd spirit ability into a blade of grass. The grass quickly became shiny, filled with life essence. I handed it to Ning Rongrong. If you still feel uncomfortable, just hold it in your palm to absorb. Ning Rongrong took it blankly. Before pushing the door, I looked back at her one last time. You are so young. You should hold your head high and do what others think you can't do. The door closed and the night wind blew in from the window, blowing away the tears on her face. Before I walked away, I seemed to hear her take a very light breath. It wasn't a cry. It was like broken pride being reassembled. The spirit arena of Soto was brightly lit. When I arrived at the audience, Flender was the first to see me. He put on his glasses and whispered, how? I knew he was asking about Ning Rongrong. I comforted her. She should be fine. I think she is actually quite sensible, but she was spoiled since childhood, and no one taught her well. Flender breathed a sigh of relief and patted my shoulder. That's good, get ready. Your one-on-one spirit fight is about to start. I nodded and was about to find a seat to sit down when I suddenly heard him add, the next one is Zhu Qing against Tang San, and then it's you. Zhu Qing against Tang San. I stopped. Attack type is already at a disadvantage against control type, and Zhu Qing's spirit power is lower than Tang San's. If they really fight, Tang San binds her with blue silver grass. The fight would end soon. But the problem is not the outcome. The problem is the touch feedback of blue silvergrass. Tang San may not feel anything, but I know the characteristics of this spirit too well. Thinking of this, I walked up to Zhu Qing. Zhu Qing, I have a few words to say to you alone. She looked up at me with a cold look, but didn't refuse. What's up? I looked around. It's not convenient here. Zhu Qing hesitated for a moment and followed me to a less crowded corner of the auditorium. I didn't beat around the bush. I suggest you give up the spirit competition with Tang San. Her eyebrows immediately frowned. I asked her, do you remember when I treated you yesterday? How I released my spirit ability? Her face changed slightly. I lowered my voice and said, blue silvergrass can feedback touch. Yesterday, I just wrapped around your wrist, so I was still measured. But Tang San is a control-type spirit master. If you go on stage with him to win, he will definitely use blue silvergrass to limit your actions. I didn't finish, but Zhu Qing already understood. Her cold face turned a little pale, and her breathing, Jeet, became rapid. She could accept failure, but she couldn't accept that kind of unguarded offense. After a few breaths, she whispered, I know. Thank you. I smiled. I just reminded you. The decision is yours. Soon it was Zhu Qing and Tang San's turn on the Doloa arena. As soon as they stood on the stage, Zhu Qing directly conceded. Tang San stood there in a daze. When he returned to the audience, he saw me and Zhu Qing coming back one after another. His face sank. Ling Yin, what did you say to her? She came here to become stronger. Why did you interfere with her? Everyone looked at me. Daimu Bai also came over and asked in a low voice, Bro, she is my fiancée. Do you have any interest in her? I didn't respond to his joke. I just looked at everyone. Daimu Bai, Do you know that over the years I've treated you? Why I only give you herbs most of the time, instead of directly connecting with blue silvergrass? Dai Mubai was stunned. I answered myself, because blue silvergrass will feedback touch. If Zhu Juqing and Tang San fight, they would probably be entangled by blue silvergrass. Can you accept it? The audience was silent for a moment. Dai Mubai quickly reacted, and his face turned ugly. Zhu Juqing turned her head, obviously didn't want to be discussed further. Tang San opened his mouth as if he wanted to explain that he didn't do it on purpose, but he didn't say it after all, because he also knew it's the most common method for control spirit masters. Ma Hongjun muttered in a low voice. He said that, it's really me. I didn't continue to expand the contradiction. I just waved my hand. I should go to the spirit fight. Remember to cheer me on. The spotlight fell on the fighting spirit stage. My opponent was a big and burly defensive spirit master, a soul venerable with the spirit of iron armor rhino. When he saw me, his expression became complicated. You again, why do you, a healing spirit master, always come to one-on-one fights? You've treated us a lot before. If I really hurt you, I feel bad. I stood on the other side of the ring and stretched my wrists. It's okay. Just go ahead. I can heal myself anyway. With the referee's order, I didn't summon my spirit, but directly rushed over. In the audience, Tang San couldn't help asking, didn't you say he is an auxiliary spirit master? Why did he also participate in one-on-one? Ma Hongjun immediately retorted, what's wrong with support? A support is not a human. Just because your blue silvergrass can fight doesn't mean Spirit Rock can't. Flender looked at the stage and said lightly, he has twin spirit abilities. Now he is accumulating combat experience which will be useful in the future. Twin spirit abilities. Tang San's voice changed significantly. He finally knew how similar our situations were. The same blue silvergrass and the same twin spirit abilities. But I reached level 30 earlier than him, and my spirit ring configuration is more exaggerated. The way he looked at me was no longer just curiosity, but more vigilance. On the ring, I fought against the Iron Armor Rhino for several rounds. Although I have been a healing spirit master all these years, I have secretly practiced body skills and timing. But I have no attack spirit skills. Hitting a defensive spirit master with spirit power alone, the effect is indeed limited. The opponent took a few punches from me without even frowning. He stopped his action and said seriously, your body skills are good in timing, but your power is too weak. The path of a spirit master is not for you. I stabilized my breathing and smiled. Thank you for your mercy. If you come to me for treatment, I'll give you a 20% discount. He laughed heartily. I raised my hand to the referee. I admit defeat, and the referee announces the result. The Iron Armor Rhino wins with a record of 62 wins and 56 losses. Bluegrass has 1 win and 157 losses. In the audience, Tang San couldn't help but take a breath. Ma Hongjun glared at him immediately. I walked down to Spirit Arena. I didn't feel bad at all. I didn't come up to win. As long as everyone gets used to it, I'm a healing spirit master who often practices fighting. When the fire dragon appears in the future, it won't look abrupt. More importantly, I have just confirmed that if it were the evil fire dragon spirit, the ironclad rhino couldn't last 3 moves. When returning to the academy at night, Ning Rongrong didn't have a conflict with Dai Mubai. She seemed to have figured something out. Although she still had the pride of a young lady, she didn't prick anyone anymore. In the girls' dormitory, Xiao looked at her curiously. Are you really going to stay? Ning Rongrong hugged her knees and smiled brightly. Yeah, it's quite interesting here. It's a pity to leave like this. But as soon as Zhu Juqing came back, she covered herself with a quilt. Ning Rongrong quickly noticed something was wrong. Zhu Qing, who bullied you? Xiao looked angry. She told Ning Rongrong about Dai Mubai and Zhu Juqing's engagement and Dai Mubai's absurd things over the years. After hearing this, her eyebrows furrowed. He's so dirty. Such a person as Zhu Qing. Do you really want to be tied to him? Zhu Juqing showed half of her face from the quilt in a low voice. Many things are not as simple as you think. But Ning Rongrong sat up straight. Isn't it just the inheritance rules of the Shrek Empire? You and Dai Mubai win the fire. If you lose, you will die. But he has fallen so low. Do you really think he can win? Even if he wins, are you willing to spend your life with such a person? Zhu Juqing was silent. Of course, she was not reconciled, but she has accepted her fate since she was a child and can't break free. Ning Rongrong suddenly held her hand. If there's no way out, come to Qibao Lihua sect. Grandpa Jin and I will protect you. As long as you don't want to, no one can force you. Zhu Juqing is in the Qibao Liuli sect. Maybe she really has this confidence, but she and Ning Rongrong have only known each other for a few days. How can you rely on others to decide your fate? Xiao was watching curiously. Rongrong, why do you look like a different person today? Ning Rongrong blushed. Ling Yin comforted me for a while. I figured it out myself. If it weren't for him, I might have left. As soon as the name Ling Yin appeared, the room was quiet for a moment. Xiao suddenly leaned towards her. Do you like him? Ning Rongrong's pretty face turned red instantly. She didn't speak for a long time. The answer was written in her eyes. The next morning, Oscar excitedly rushed to the playground. Dean, I'm level 30. Flan immediately laughed happily. A 14-year-old level 30 food spirit master. His future is indeed limitless. Ning Rongrong whispered, Didn't Ling Yin reach level 30 at 12? I quickly interrupted him. Rong Rong, Oscar's breakthrough is a good thing. Don't discourage him. Food Spirit Master's cultivation is harder than support Spirit Masters. Flender didn't mind. He waved his hand. Get ready. Tomorrow, Zhao Wuji will take you to Stardow Great Forest to hunt spirits for Oscar. I was waiting for this sentence. Before everyone was about to leave, I suddenly spoke up. Dean, I want to add spirit rings to my second spirit. The whole audience's eyes fell on me instantly. Flender's face darkened. Were you kidding? How dangerous it is to add spirit rings in advance. You don't know. I looked him in the eye. I know, but I also want to be a spirit master. I don't want to always stand behind others and be protected. Dai Mubai was the first to be anxious. Ling Yin, don't be impulsive. There have been many examples of twin spirits in history, and your second spirit is a fire of evil. Ma Hongjun also advised me. My evil fire phoenix is already troublesome enough. Your infernal fire snake is even more troublesome. You need to think carefully before practicing. Oscar looked sad. If you become a spirit master, then I'll be the only pure support. I smiled. Isn't there still Rong Rong? Oscar slapped his head. Everyone was slightly relieved by his words, but I didn't change my mind. I've thought it through. Only when I hold the power in my own hands can I feel safe. Flender looked at me for a long time and finally sighed. The path is your own choice. Don't regret it later. I nodded. At this time, Tang San suddenly stopped me. Ling Yin. I turned around. He looked at me and asked seriously, why do your first 3 spirit skills have the same name and similar effects? What spirit beast did you get the spirit rings from? I said lightly. They are all blue silver grass spirit beasts. So the spirit skills are similar. Can you use your spirit skills on yourself? Yes. Tang San got the answer and turned to leave thoughtfully. Ma Hongjun looked at his back, rolled his eyes, and asked without saying thank you. I didn't care. I summoned blue silver grass and made several leaves full of life energy and gave them to Dai Mubai and others. It will be useful for hunting souls tomorrow. Take them. Ma Hongjun took it fastest. Thanks, BR. Oh, not far away. Ning Rongrong and Zhu Juqing also saw it. Ning Rongrong pouted. Why did he only prepare for boys? Zhu Juqing looked at those glowing leaves, and her eyes moved slightly. She knew how comfortable the vitality was inside, and how dangerous the Stardow Great Forest is. Ning Rongrong leaned into her ear. Zhu Qing, why don't you go and ask him for more leaves? Zhu Juqing blushed slightly, but she didn't refuse. When I returned to the room, a sudden heat surged through my body. The heat came very quickly, burning all the way from the depths of my meridians. It felt like something was about to break through reason. My face changed. After the evolution of the evil fire spirit, the intensity of the evil fire spirit has indeed increased. I sat cross-legged and tried to suppress it with spirit power, but the evil fire dragon is a real dragon after all. Its bloodline is more domineering than Ma Hongjuan's mutant spirit. If I can't suppress it, it will go berserk or even burn my meridians. Just as I was sweating on my forehead, there was a soft knock on the door. Ling Yin, are you free? It's Zhu Juqing. Her voice came through the door. I want to talk to you. I gritted my teeth and barely squeezed out a voice. I'm not convenient now. Come back later. There was a moment of silence outside. Zhu Juqing seemed to sense that something was wrong with me, with some concern in her voice. What's wrong with you? Do you want me to find the dean? I stood up with great effort. My knuckles turned white from the force. No, I just have a problem with cultivation. The footsteps outside the door didn't leave. She whispered, then I'll say what happened yesterday through the door. Thank you. If it weren't for your reminder, I might have been on the spirit arena in a very embarrassing situation. And tomorrow we're going to Stardow Great Forest. Rongrong and Xiao will also want some of your blue silver grass leaves. Hearing her voice, the evil fire in my body was blown up by the wind, almost swallowing my sanity. I raised my hand sharply, using spirit power to seal the heat overflowing from the crack. Zhu Juqing, leave now. After 12 years in Doluo continent, I awakened blue silver grass like Tang San and also have a second spirit ability. But he brought the Tang sect's unique skills. He could use hidden weapons to subdue Zhao Wuji as soon as he entered Shrek. But I was picked up B. Why Flender for 6 years? I'm level 31, but I was always as a little assistant who only knows healing. Hearing her voice, my evil fire in my body was blown up by the wind, almost swallowing my sanity. I raised my hand sharply, using spirit power to seal the hot breath outside the door. Zhu Juqing, leave now. The door was suddenly pushed open from inside. The wooden shaft made a harsh sound. I almost bumped out. Just as Zhu Juqing reached the door, she looked up to see me like this. Her cold face changed suddenly. Ling Yin, what happened to you? She took half a step forward to help me, but was stopped by the surging spirit power on me. My throat felt like it was on fire. The evil fire in my body was running through my veins, and even my vision began to blur. Blue silver grass grew uncontrollably from my palm, with a strong breath of life, but couldn't suppress the restlessness of the second spirit. Zhu Juqing frowned. Do you want me to find a healing spirit master? You look scary now. I wanted to let her go, but before I could finish speaking, the blue silver grass had already wrapped around her. Zhu Juqing was caught off guard and rolled into the room. The door slammed shut. Only the two of us were left in the room. Rapid breathing. Ling Yin, wake up. She was trapped by blue silver grass, the first obvious panic in her eyes. I pressed my forehead hard, trying to suppress the evil fire. But the more I suppressed it, the more it felt like a mad demon dragon was hidden in my body. I gritted my teeth, my voice hoarse and not like myself. Stay away from me. I couldn't control it. Zhu Juqing, didn't retreat immediately. She stared at me for a few seconds and suddenly realized something. Her voice became low. Your second spirit ability is out of control. I can't control it. I could only use my last bit of sanity to loosen the blue silvergrass. But the evil fire was too fast. I just broke out half of my body. The blue silvergrass wrapped around her wrist again. Zhu Juqing's eyes turned cold. The ghost cat spirit instantly possessed her. 2 yellow spirit rings lit up under her feet. Ling Yin, I don't want to hurt you. As she finished speaking, the life attribute spirit power in my body suddenly flowed through the blue silvergrass to her. The cool breath establishing a strange connection between the two, like a thin thread, pulling back my veins that were about to burst little by little. Zhu Juqing also noticed something strange. Her originally tense shoulders trembled slightly. The vigilance in her eyes did not dissipate, but with a hint of complexity. Can you slow down with this? I took a difficult breath. Maybe, but I'm not sure. The air was quiet for a moment. The sky outside changed from morning to evening, but the room seemed to be isolated from another world. Zhu Juqing didn't run away anymore. She just coldly asked me to let go of blue silvergrass and then sat by the bed, allowing the life spirit power to flow between us. The evil fire surged up again and again. I almost lost control several times, but she held my wrist with gritted teeth. Looking at me, her voice trembled, but she was stable. Don't let him control you. I looked at her, and the restlessness in my chest gradually subsided until the night wind blew in through the crack in the window. I felt like waking up from a nightmare. I was sweating all over, and my throat was dry and painful. When I squeezed out the word sorry from my mouth, even I felt it was too light. Zhu Juqing leaned against the head of the bed with a pale face, and her forehead's broken hair was stuck by sweat. She didn't look at me. Her voice was so low that I could barely hear it. What is your second spirit? Blazing dragon. I took a deep breath. If it had completely exploded just now, I might be backlashed by it. She was silent. I didn't dare to excuse myself. I could only tell her everything I knew. I didn't mean to involve you. At that moment, I was really about to lose consciousness. But I'm sorry for what happened to you. Zhu Juqing tilted her head and looked at me with complicated eyes. So, are you awake now? I was stunned by her gaze. It fell between us on the blue silvergrass that hadn't been completely broken. I just realized that the spirit connection was still maintained, and the spirit power is still flowing slowly, like warm water, soothing the residual evil fire in my body. I immediately withdrew blue silvergrass and took a half step back. Sorry. The moment the connection was broken, Zhu Juqing's shoulder trembled slightly. She pursed her lips without speaking, but her fingers unconsciously grasped the quilt corner. So, it wasn't resistance, but more like the discomfort of suddenly losing support. The room was quiet. Only the wind was heard. I didn't move closer. I just lowered my voice. Juqing, I know your identity, and I know the pressure you are under from the Star Luo royal family. You want freedom, and I will help you. If you want to prove yourself, I will help you become stronger. She looked up at me with red eyes, but still stubborn. Why do you help me? Because I owe you today. I paused, and I want to be responsible. Zhu Juqing didn't respond immediately. After a long time, she looked away. Her voice was as soft as falling in the wind. What about Dai Mu Bai? My heart sank. This matter cannot be avoided. I didn't use excuses like emotional discord. I didn't deceive myself or shift the blame to evil fire. I watched him speak word by word. When the time is right, I will explain. If it's my fault, I'll admit it, and I will compensate. Zhu Juqing's fingers slowly loosened. She was so tired that it was difficult to sit up straight, but still insisted on asking, is what you said true? Yes. I handed the newly condensed blue silvergrass to her. I only let the life attribute soul power flow into her meridians to restore her stamina. This time I didn't cross the line. Zhu Juqing stared at the green grass leaf for a long time, and finally replied with a yes. The system panel popped up in front of me, prompting that Zhu Juqing's favorability is 100%. Now, issuing the exclusive reward package for Zhu Juqing. Please collect it later. My eyes moved, but I didn't open it immediately. Zhu Juqing has been out of the dormitory for a day. If Ning Rongrong and Xiao Wu came to look for her, it will be hard to explain. I'll restore your stamina first. Control the life energy of blue silvergrass more softly. When you can walk normally, you can go back. She nodded slightly. After a while, Zhu Juqing started to organize her clothes. I also helped her and picked up the scattered things. The situation was too chaotic just now, and the clothes were wrinkled. Fortunately, they could still be covered. Only her usual stockings were scratched by blue silvergrass and couldn't be used anymore. I held the torn cloth with an awkward expression. Is there anything else? Zhu Juqing's cheeks turned slightly red. They are all in the dormitory. Don't wear it now. It should be dark and they should notice. He gently hummed, suddenly remembered something. By the way, the grass leaves. I was stunned. She immediately explained. I'm here to ask you for grass leaves. Yesterday, the same one you gave Ning Rongrong. I breathed a sigh of relief. Blue silver grass appeared in my palm and quickly condensed a dozen leaves with life breath. Enough. Zhu Juqing took the grass leaves and stopped at the door. I scratched my head. About my second spirit ability. She didn't turn back, only leaving a word to say later. The door closed gently, and the room fell silent again. I leaned against the bed and took a long breath. The evil fire that had been suppressed for 6 years finally settled down. My meridians felt as if they had been cleaned. No wonder the fat man always says evil fire tortures people. Once it breaks out, it's not something you can just endure. After a while, I opened the system panel. A light blue light curtain appeared with a prompt flashing. You can receive Zhu Juqing's exclusive reward package. The system opened the gift package. Flash of light. The reward list clearly appeared. Zhu Zhuqing's exclusive talisman, 5 talismans, the God-given spirit ring, system version, storage soul guide ring, infinite space version, 1, Shintian Wujigong, and the dual cultivation version. Gasped. This gift package is too luxurious. I can't use the talisman, the divine spirit ring, storage spirit guide ring, and skill are all top-notch things. Especially the tiger talisman's description is special. The tiger talisman is passive. The noble white tiger adjusts yin and yang. The active ability divides the user into good and evil. The white tiger adjusts yin and yang. Is it to balance the soul power attribute or the age of spirit rings? I can't figure it out for now. I can only wait for next time. Seeing Zhu Zhuqing alive, the spirit guide ring came at the right time. I really need a space to hold things. The black soul guide ring appeared in my palm, which looks simple, but it hides infinite space. I put the ring on, my gaze fell on the cultivation method again. I felt a bit strange. Moved by, I sighed softly. I'm really being pushed by the system this time. On the other hand, when Zhu Zhuqing returned to the girls' dormitory, Ning Rongrong almost jumped up from the bed. You're finally back. Xiao also poked her head out. Why did it take so long? Zhu Zhuqing clenched her palm and said the reason she had already thought of. When I went in the morning, Ling Yin was practicing, so I went to Satua City to have a look. I just returned to the academy. Ning Rongrong looked at her suspiciously, but her attention was quickly drawn to the leaves. Have you got the leaves? No, I'll go and get them. Zhu Zhuqing handed over a handful of blue silvergrass leaves, leaving only 2 for herself. Ning Rongrong's eyes lit up, holding the grass leaves like a treasure. He was so happy. Suddenly, her nose moved. Zhu Qing, why do you feel different from daytime? Zhu Zhuqing froze. What's wrong? You must have something. Ning Rongrong sniffed it closely, a more strange expression on her face. Zhu Zhuqing immediately took a step back and pushed her away. Xiao looked her up and down and suddenly caught the point. Where's your stockings? The dormitory was quiet. Ning Rongrong also looked down at Zhu Zhuqing's legs. Zhu Zhuqing's ears turned red. She said it with a hard head. It was scratched by branches on the road. I just threw it away. Ning Rongrong widened her eyes. On the road, Zhu Zhuqing knew that the more she explained, the worse it would be. She directly got into the quilt, leaving her back to them. I'm tired. I'll go to sleep first. Ning Rongrong and Xiao looked at each other. Ning Rongrong gave the grass leaves to Xiao Wu and murmured in a low voice. Zhu Qingqing is so strange today. Xiao Wu hid the grass leaves under the pillow. Maybe she was too tired from shopping. Ning Rongrong pouted. She didn't even invite us to go shopping. Next time I'll ask Lin Yin to accompany me. Under the quilt, Zhu Zhuqing didn't say anything. Not long after, her breathing became steady, as if she really fell asleep. OM exhaustion. The next morning, everyone gathered on the playground, led by Zhao Wuji, officially heading to the Star Doe Great Forest. As soon as the team left the college, I took advantage of no one's attention and quietly leaned over to Zhu Zhuqing. Zhu Qing, I'll show you something good tonight. She looked around vigilantly. What is it? In front of so many people, don't do anything. I lowered my voice. Don't worry, it's really a good thing. If we stay in a hotel tonight, come to my room to find me. Zhu Zhuqing's cheeks flushed, and her eyes became complicated. You can't say it now. If you say it now, there will be no surprise. She wanted to ask more, but Ning Rongrong suddenly stood between us. Hey, what are you whispering about? Zhu Zhuqing was scared and turned her head away. I put away my smile. Nothing. I returned to the boys' team, only leaving Ning Rongrong squinting at Zhu Zhuqing. You two are not normal. Zhu Zhuqing immediately denied it. Don't talk nonsense. He was just asking about cultivation. Halfway through the conversation, she realized the reaction was too hasty, so she just shut up. The atmosphere in the team became inexplicably subtle. In the evening, Zhao Wuji led everyone near the entrance of Stardo Great Forest. Sure enough, we met the Clear Sky School. Ma Hongjun and Dai Mubai had a conflict with them. Finally, Zhao Wuji came forward and made Yi Qiuji unable to lift his head. I didn't interfere. In this world, strength is supreme. If they want to cause trouble, let them take care of themselves. Reshaping everyone's 3 views is too tiring to do this. The night wind blew into the room through the window. I sat by the bed, playing with the tiger talisman. There were 2 soft knocks on the door. I raised the corner of my mouth. Zhu Zhuqing is here. The door just opened. A dark shadow drilled in. Close the door, she whispered. What are you doing? I couldn't help laughing. After closing the door, I handed her the tiger talisman. Zhu Zhuqing was stunned. This is the good thing you mentioned. Hold it and feel the power inside. She took the talisman with doubt. The next second, the white tiger pattern lit up. The ghost cat spirit appeared spontaneously. 2 yellow spirit rings slowly moved under her feet. Then the breath of the spirit rings began to blend and balance. Zhu Zhuqing opened her beautiful eyes slightly. After a long time, the light dissipated. Her breathing was a little hurried. I can feel that each spirit ring will share the total age. I immediately understood. That is to say, when you absorb a spirit ring with a higher age, the previous spirit rings will also be improved. Everyone will have 10,000 years or even 10,000 years. Zhu Zhuqing held the talisman, her eyes shaking. This thing means too much to her. Others' first few spirit rings became more and more useless in the later stage, but she is different. As long as she continues to practice, every spirit ability can keep up with the intensity. She looked at me. Where did you get it? It doesn't matter. I smiled. Now it belongs to you, Zhu Zhuqing. Just as Zhu Zhuqing was about to speak, I added another sentence. There is another ability. Try to inject spirit power into it. She did as I said, and the white light suddenly bloomed, which blinded me for a moment. When the light fell, the original Zhu Zhuqing was divided into 2 people, one with pink curly curly hair with clean and soft eyes, as if all her obedience was written on her face. The other one has long black hair with healthy bronze skin, with a cold and dangerous look, like a little wild cat that will pounce at any time. Both of them looked at me. Pink-haired Zhu Zhuqing was a little flustered. Brother Ling Yan, why did I become two people? The black-haired Zhu Zhuqing raised her eyes coldly. Don't look at me like that. I was stunned for a moment, and then I realized the Tiger Charm's active ability separated the good and evil sides. The pink-haired side naturally approached me, while the black-haired side was full of vigilance. The ghost cat spirit ability even had a faint sign of possession. I didn't do anything wrong. I just used blue silvergrass to separate them, to prevent them from suddenly losing control. Don't worry, I'm just confirming the ability. The black-haired Zhu Zhuqing sneered. You better think so. But the pink-haired Zhu Zhuqing grabbed my sleeve and whispered to remind him, he is fierce. I was speechless. This ability is indeed outrageous, but also dangerous. The two personalities have sensory interconnection and soul power. Once out of control, it will be troublesome. I tried to let them operate spirit power simultaneously and let the black-haired Zhu Zhuqing complete spirit possession. The result was obvious. The split spirit form is more extreme, and their speed and burst are enhanced, but the emotions are harder to control. It was dawn when they stopped. The two halves of the talisman were reunited. Flash of white light. Two Zhu Zhuqings disappeared. Only the original Zhu Zhuqing was left by the bed. She seemed to have experienced both sides at the same time. She lay there for a while before regaining consciousness. I used blue silvergrass to replenish her stamina. Put the talisman away. Don't lose them. Zhu Zhuqing held the tiger talisman tightly, with a look of fear in her eyes. This thing is too weird. It's weird, but it's really useful. I paused. I'll get you a storage spirit guide later. Otherwise, it's not safe to carry it. She nodded slightly. It's almost dawn. Zhu Zhuqing washed and dressed up and was ready to go back. Before leaving, she whispered, Rong Rong seems to like it. Zhu Zhuqing finished washing up and tidied her clothes, preparing to head back. Just before she left, she whispered a warning. Rong Rong seems to really like you. If she finds out about us, she'll be heartbroken. I feigned confusion. Really? For real? Zhu Zhuqing frowned. He said it himself. The moment the words left her mouth, she pushed open the door. Outside, Ning Rongrong was sitting on the ground, hugging her knees, her eyes red and swollen. A blade of blue silvergrass clutched tightly in her hand. Zhu Zhuqing's face instantly went pale. Rongrong. I also looked over, my heart skipping a beat. You wouldn't have stayed out here all night, would you? Ning Rongrong looked up, tears spilling down her cheeks. How much longer are you two going to keep me in the dark? The air in the room froze solid. Zhu Zhuqing helped Ning Rongrong inside, her voice shaky. It's not what you think. Let me explain. She quickly recounted the whole affair, the evil fire outbreak, how she had just happened to stumble into me, and how things had become complicated between us. But the more she explained, the harder Ning Rongrong cried. So yesterday, when I sent you to get the grass blade from him, you were already together with him. Zhu Zhuqing lowered her head and didn't deny it. Ning Rongrong completely broke down. Why am I so lazy? Why didn't I just go myself? I tried to explain, but before I could get a word out, she shot me a glare. Shut up. The little princess's eyes were bloodshot, her voice thick with tears but still fierce. That day, when you comforted me in the dorm, encouraged me, and then you turned around and got together with Zhuqing. Do all you men like girls like her? I was momentarily speechless. Zhu Zhuqing tried to ask her to keep it a secret for now. Ning Rongrong only grew more aggrieved. Am I the only outsider here? Just as the situation was reaching a boiling point, a voice came from outside the door. Why are you all in Lin Yan's room? Xiaowu. Both Zhu Zhuqing and I froze at the same time. Zhu Zhuqing reacted quickly, spinning a lie on the spot. Rongrong was feeling homesick, and she got so upset she started feeling unwell. She came to Lin Yan to recover her stamina. She leaned close to Ning Rongrong's ear and whispered for her not to expose them, at least for now. Ning Rongrong bit her lip, but in the end, she didn't tear the facade down right then. The storm was temporarily calmed. When the sun was high in the sky, the team formally entered the Stardow Forest. I walked at the back of the group, the tension between Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing palpable, one watching the other like a hawk, the other avoiding her gaze, like two cats cautiously sizing each other up. Suddenly, Zhao Wuji's voice dropped low. Something's coming. He looked at Zhu Zhuqing. There's movement to the west. Go scout it. It took him calling her a second time for Zhu Zhuqing to snap out of her daze. Activating her netherworld spirit cat, she leaped into the trees and quickly returned. A red snake with a fleshy crown on its head. Extremely fast. Tang San's eyes flickered as if something had occurred to him. I beat him to the punch. Phoenix-tailed serpent. A speed-type flying spirit beast. Oscar, it's perfect for your third spirit ring. Oscar's eyes lit up. Lin Yin, you even know this stuff? It's passable. I scanned the group, readying for battle. Dai Mobai, pin it down. Tang Sin, you handle control. Fatty, once it's immobilized, hit it hard. Tang San's expression darkened. He'd clearly figured it out too, but I'd stolen his thunder. The phoenix-tailed serpent was already charging into view. He had no time to argue. I could only activate his blue-silver grass. First spirit skill, blue-silver entanglement. Daimubai's white tiger fisher beam followed right behind, and Ma Hongjuan's phoenix fire line blasted forward. Ning Rongrong provided strength and speed enhancements. The coordination was sharp. Before the phoenix-tailed serpent could fully accelerate, it was pinned down and incapacitated. I pulled a dagger from my storage ring and shoved it into Oscar's hand. Hurry, stab the crown. Don't waste time. Oscar was still dazed. I gave him a shove. Any slower and this ring might not be yours anymore. He gritted his teeth, plunged the dagger in, and a purple thousand-year spirit ring rose slowly into the air. Just as Oscar was about to begin absorption, two figures stepped out from the tree lean. The snake woman Chao Tianxiang and Ming Yiran had arrived. Seeing that the phoenix-tailed serpent was already a spirit ring, Chao Tianxiang's face darkened. You've stolen my granddaughter's spirit ring. 6 spirit rings lit up. Oppressive pressure of the snake's staff spirit washed over them. I looked at Zhao Wuji. Zhao Laosher, your turn. Zhao Wuji grinned crookedly, his vigorous Vajra bear spirit body taking form. 7 spirit rings blazed as the might of a spirit saint swept across the entire area. Chao Tianxiang's expression instantly shifted. A spirit saint? Zhao Wuji's voice was cold. You say we stole a spirit beast from the Stardow forest. Since when does this whole forest belong to your family? After Chao Tianxiang announced her background, Zhao Wuji realized that a long gong might be nearby, and his demeanor eased. The two parties examined the wound on the phoenix-tailed serpent's abdomen, exchanged a brief negotiation, and ended with Zhao Wuji owing a favor. Meng Yiran glared fiercely at Oscar before following Chao Tianxiang away. Oscar let out a long, shaky breath, grinning at me. Thanks, brother. From now on, my sausages are on the house. I waved him off with a look of disgust. If that's how you repay a favor, I'm definitely regretting helping you. The others laughed, and the tense atmosphere lightened considerably. By evening, Oscar had finished absorbing his spirit ring. The only thing left was my second spirit's ring issue. According to plan, as long as Xiao Wu was taken away by Erming tonight, I could slip away in the chaos and get what I needed. Night fell. I, Zhu Zhuqing, and Ning Rongrong volunteered for the night watch. The others, unaware of the currents flowing between us, had no objections. In the dark, I stood close to Zhu Zhuqing. Suddenly, Ning Rongrong sidled up to me. What exactly is your second spirit? Evil fire dragon. Is it strong? Can it fight? Better than Fatty's evil fire phoenix. She leaned in closer. So you can be a battle spirit master too? You could say that. I sensed something off in her tone. What are you really trying to say? Ning Rongrong was silent for a few seconds, then suddenly looked at Zhu Zhuqing. Zhuqing, I'll keep your stealing my crush a secret. Zhu Zhuqing brightened. Really? Don't get too happy yet. I have a condition. Ning Rongrong's voice grew softer, but dead serious. I want Lin Yin to be my boyfriend. Both Zhu Zhuqing and I froze. Ning Rongrong looked as though she'd thrown caution to the wind. The 7 Treasure Glazed Tile sect has rules. A partner of a 7 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda Spear Master must be a powerful battle Spear Master. Lin Yan's spirit is strong enough, and I like him. Zhu Zhuqing couldn't believe it. Rongrong, don't look at me like that. Ning Rongrong's eyes turned red. If I hadn't sent you to him yesterday, I would have confessed to him today. You stole my crush once. I'll steal your boyfriend once. That makes us even. I couldn't help but interject. Can you even calculate it like that? Ning Rongrong whipped her head toward me. You shut up. If you could just control you. She stopped, her voice cracking. It wouldn't have come to this. The more she spoke, the more aggrieved she became. Finally, she reached out and cupped my face, her voice fierce through the tears. Don't you dare dodge. If you do, I'll have Uncle Jian come for you. I was caught between laughter and tears. Zhu Zhuqing didn't stop her at first. She just watched us with a complicated look. Just as Ning Rongrong was about to press her lips to mine, a sudden roar split the night from the deep darkness. Trouble! All three of us jolted. Ning Rongrong stumbled off me. The campfire flared to life, and Dai Mubai was the first out of his tent. Zhao Laosher, what's wrong? Zhao Wuji's face was grim. His vigorous Vajra bear spirit body materialized instantly. Everyone rushed out of their tents. From the distance came the crash of falling trees. The ground trembled, the air grew thick and heavy. A colossal silhouette, like a moving mountain, appeared in the clearing. The king of the forest, the titan giant ape. Zhao Wuji didn't waste time explaining. He activated his spirit true body on the spot, trying to draw its attention. But the titan giant ape ignored him completely. Its enormous palm swept over the group and grabbed directly for Xiao Wu. Light beams, fire lines, blue-silver grass, hidden weapons, they all slammed into its hand, but none could even break the skin. No. Xiao Wu. Tang San let out a heart-wrenching roar and spun to Oscar. Mushroom sausage. Give me the flying mushroom sausage now. Oscar, terrified by Tang San's expression, hurriedly activated his third spirit skill. Tang San swallowed the sausage, sprouted translucent wings, and shot after them, ignoring all attempts to stop him. I looked at Ning Rongrong. Speed boost me. She blinked. What are you? There was no time to explain. The 7 treasure glazed tile pagoda glowed, and a speed enhancement fell on me. I turned and dashed into the forest, summoning my external spirit bone, the dragon seal, under cover of night, to follow close behind Tang San. I wasn't going to save Tang San. I was going after the man-faced demon spider. That piece of spider hair, it absolutely could not fall into his hands. Deep in the forest, the titan giant ape carried Xiao Wu at a breakneck pace. After losing Tang San, Xiao Wu asked Air Ming to stop. Right here. Don't go any further. Air Ming set her down with surprising gentleness for his enormous frame. Xiao Wu Jia, are you doing well in the human world? Big brother, and I miss you very much. Xiao Wu smiled. I'm doing well. I miss you both too. But I'm with human spirit masters this time. I can't stay away too long. The mention of humans, Air Ming's voice darkened. That human who chased us, should I deal with him? Xiao Wu waved her hands frantically. Don't do anything reckless. They're my friends. She didn't want to explain further, so she sat down cross-legged. Just guard me for a bit. I'll take this time to condense my third spirit ring. Air Ming nodded immediately. Just as Xiao was about to focus, she thought of something else. Oh, and can you check if there are any 1,000-year fire attribute spirit beasts nearby? A friend of mine needs a spirit ring. Air Ming went silent. A spirit beast helping a human find spirit rings. Coming from Xiao Wu's mouth, it was rather absurd. But she was Xiao Wu. In the end, Air Ming agreed. Still, a wariness stirred within him. It seemed the human world was slowly changing Xiao Wu Jia. Meanwhile, on another front, Tang San was tangled up with a 1,000-year man-faced demon spider, fighting a desperate battle. He was about to resort to his clear sky hammer when I descended from above, a fist wreathed in purple flames smashing into the spider's back. First spirit skill, Dragon Fist. The man-faced demon spider's 8 legs were driven deep into the earth, momentarily stunned. Tang San looked up in shock. Lin Yin. I put on a worried expression. No time to explain. Go after Xiao Wu. I'll handle this. At the mention of Xiao Wu, Tang San didn't have time to wonder how I could fly, or why I suddenly had combat power. He gritted his teeth, gave me a look, and said, Lin Yin. I'm sorry. Thank you. He turned and vanished into the thicket. I shouted after him. You have to bring Xiao Wu back. Once his footsteps faded, I let the concern drain from my face. Finally gone. The man-faced demon spider at my feet was barely alive. I didn't hesitate. Second spirit skill, Blazing Fireball. Third spirit skill, Flame Ring Burst. Fire exploded one after the other, shredding the spider completely. A purple spirit ring rose. I rummaged through the corpse and quickly found what I was looking for, a strange, curled object shaped like a shield. The leg spirit bone, wreathed in flame, pulled free from the body. My eyes lit up. External spirit bone, got it. Tang San, oh Tang San. Without the 8 spider lances, without the blue-silver emperor bloodline, how far can you really go now? The next morning, the sun rose. Xiao Wu had already returned to the group, but everyone from Shrek Academy had grim faces. Zhao Wuji had led them searching all night. They were looking for me and for Tang San, but most of their focus had been on me. Ning Rongrong's eyes were swollen from crying. She clutched the blue silver grass leaf, checking the life aura over and over. I'm going back to the 7 treasure glazed tile sect. I'll have Uncle Jian come find Lin Yan. Zhu Zhuqing, rarely losing her cool, had a trembling voice. He's definitely okay. He's a healing spirit master. He has to be. Dai Mubai caught on. The grass blades still held a life aura. That meant Lin Yan was still alive. They had just begun to hope when several figures appeared in the distance. Longgong, Snake Woman Chao Tianxiang, and Mingyan. Longgong was carrying something, a bloodied, tattered body. Chao Tianxiang sighed. Brother Zhao, is this what yours? Ning Rongrong nearly collapsed, staggering forward. Lin Yan. Zhu Zhuqing's body went weak, and she sank to the ground. Everyone thought it was me. Until I descended from the sky. Purple dragon wings spread wide, fire attribute spirit power swirling around my body. I looked at the group of bawling people and put on an innocent expression. What's wrong with all of you? Everyone looks a present. Zhao Wuji's head snapped up. Lin Yan. The others gasped in unison. My gaze landed on the battered figure on the ground, and I sucked in a breath. Tang San. What happened to Tang San? Xiao Wu's body went rigid. She looked at me, then at the unrecognizable bloody mess on the ground, and collapsed in a dead faint. The clearing went completely silent. Ning Rongrong finally snapped out of it, throwing herself into my arms sobbing. You scared me to death. Where did you go? We looked for you all night. I caught her, patting her back gently. The system prompt rang in my mind, detected that Ning Rongrong's affection for the host has reached 100%. Reward issued. Please collect at your convenience. I felt a stir inside. The little princess's affection bar is full too. Carrying Ning Rongrong as I landed, I looked over at Zhu Zhuqing. She was still sitting on the ground, the grass blade clutched in her hand. When her eyes met mine, she finally let out a breath of relief. Zhao Wuji rushed over. Where the hell were you? I had my story ready. Last night, I chased after Tang San and found him tangled up with a 1,000-year man-faced demon spider. I used my second spirit to hold the spider off so he could keep going after Xiao Wu. After I barely managed to take care of the spider, I got hounded by other spirit beasts. I finally shook them off, but on my way back, I ran into a nest of unconscious century-old fire attribute beasts. Figured I might as well absorb a spirit ring for my second spirit. I unfurled my dragon wings and spun around. By the way, check out the wings. Pretty cool, right? External spirit bone. Easy. Everyone stood there, mouths agape, too shocked to speak. Shock aside, Tang San was still lying on the ground. Zhao Wuji thanked Longgong and Chao Tianxiang, learning that they'd rescued Tang San on the way, and that the man-faced demon spider from last night had originally been Mingyan's intended spirit ring target. Zhao Wuji's face darkened. They'd poached her target twice now. He was racking up favors. Still, Longgong and Chao Tianxiang didn't press further. After leaving a warning, they departed with Mingyan in tow. Once they were gone, Zhao Wuji lifted the tattered cloth covering Tang San and took one look. His expression changed on the spot. I took a look myself, immediately covered the cloth back up, and stepped back with a hand to my forehead. I think I'll save Xiao Wu first. Tang San was wrecked. From the waist down, he was a pulpy mess, as if torn apart by beasts. He could survive, but the missing parts were beyond the scope of ordinary healing spirit skills. I used blue silver grass to wake Xiao Wu first. The moment she came to, she lunged toward Tang San. Brother! I grabbed her arm and shook my head, my expression complicated. Xiao Wu instantly burst into tears. Lin Yan, please save third brother. You must have a way, right? I sighed. It's not that I don't want to. I'm just a blue silver grass healing spirit master. I can stop bleeding and close wounds, but I can't regrow what's already gone. I didn't need to say the rest. Everyone understood. Xiao Wu sobbed even harder. Zhu Zhuqing walked over, and supported her. At least his life is saved. Ma Hongjun and Oscar stole a glance at Tang San's injuries and went pale. Dai Mubai was silent for a long moment. We can only find the best healing spirit master once we're back at the academy. I stood at the back of the group, my gaze darkening. Tang, how didn't show up? Is he not nearby? If I killed Tang San now, it might be a good opportunity. But the thought barely formed before I suppressed it. Not stable. Tang San is too deeply connected. Who knows if the Azura God is already watching him? Acting now could push things into unknown territory, and that would be more trouble than it's worth. Besides, Xiao Wu's mission isn't complete yet. I'll keep him alive for now. Zhao Wuji didn't dare linger in the Stardow forest. He immediately had Oscar produce flying mushroom sausages and led the group away. The spirit hunting expedition was finally over. Oscar and Xiao Wu had both obtained their third spirit rings. On the surface, I had also added 3-century-old spirit rings to my evil fire dragon and gained an external spirit bone. As for Tang San, his life was saved, but his spirit seemed shattered. Meanwhile, back at the Shrek Academy Dean's office, Flander had finally been reunited with his old friend of many years. Xiaojing, you finally arrived. Flander embraced him warmly. Xiaojing's lips curled slightly. Have you seen my disciple? So, isn't he outstanding? Flander nodded repeatedly. Outstanding. Of course outstanding. But right now, I have something even more important to ask of you. Xiaojing's eyes lit up. Flander gave him a rundown of several student situations, with special emphasis on Ma Hongjuan's and my evil fire issues. Xiaojing, you've studied spirit theory for so many years, you can definitely help them solve their evil fire problem, right? Xiaojing turned his back to Flander, his heart already dancing with joy. For years, what he'd craved most was to be needed and recognized. Tang San was the tool for proving his theories. Flander's request felt like an early offering of glory. Suppressing his excitement, he put on a reluctant air. It's difficult. Flander's expression tightened. Xiaojing, slowly turn around. You know, I already have Xiao San as my personal disciple. If I split my attention among others, what about Xiao San's future growth? It dawned on Flander. He was being strung along. Xiaojing, in all my life, I've rarely begged anyone. Both of these kids have great talent, especially Lin Yin. We can't let twin spirits be ruined by the evil fire. Xiaojing savored the feeling of being pleaded with and finally relented. When they get back, I'll take a look myself. A few days later, we returned to Suado City. As the familiar, worn-out Shrek Academy sign came into view, I suddenly sneezed. Achoo! I rubbed my nose, and my right eyelid twitched along with it. What's going on? There isn't an ambush waiting at the academy, is there? Zhao Wuji turned and glared at me. Nonsense. With me and Flander, 2 spirit saints, aren't we enough to protect you? Ma Hongjun sidled over with a lecherous grin. Don't tell me your evil fire is flaring up again. Lin Yin, you've started cultivating your second spirit. Figured out how to suppress it yet? As someone who's been through it, I can share some wisdom. Ning Rongrong stood right beside me, utterly unself-conscious. Over the past few days, she had practically worn her feelings for me on her sleeve. The moment she invoked the 7 treasure glazed tile sex rules, Oscar had thrown in the towel. Zhu Zhuqing's expression was far from pleased, but with Dai Mubai present, she could only stay quiet. I glanced at Ning Rongrong, then caught Zhu Zhuqing's icy stare, and decisively changed the subject. Let's talk about the evil fire later. I've got a bad feeling something unlucky is about to happen. Dai Mubai couldn't help but laugh. Unlucky? Can you be any unluckier than Tang San? I looked at Tang San, hobbling on crutches with bandages wrapped around his waist, and wisely shut my mouth. Tang San's face was dark enough to drip. The look he shot Dai Mubai carried actual murderous intent. Soon we reached the academy gate. Li Yusong was lounging in a rocking chair, but when he saw Tang San's wretched state, he shot upright in alarm. Who is that? How did he get so banged up? Zhao Wuji waved him off. Don't ask. Where's Flander? In the dean's office. The dean said that once you're back, bring Tang San, Ma Hongjun, and Lin Yin to see him first. My heart sank. Tang San, Ma Hongjun, at this juncture, with his combination, Xiaojing had arrived. Zhao Wuji dismissed the others and led the 3 of us to the dean's office. The door swung open, and Flander and Xiaojing came into view. My eyelid twitched again. It really is him. The first thing Xiaojing saw was Tang San, and he panicked on the spot. Xiao San, Tang San, upon seeing the man who was like a father to him, let all the pent-up grievance and agony of the past days explode. He dropped his crutches and threw himself into Xiaojing's arms. Teacher. The moment those 2 words left his mouth, he was sobbing too hard to speak. Xiaojing's eyes turned red, his whole body trembling with heartache. The next second, he grabbed Flander by the collar. What exactly happened? Didn't you say you protect Xiao San? Flander's face was full of guilt. He offered no rebuttal. Xiaojing had nowhere to vent his fury, so he wheeled on Zhao Wuji and began cursing. You, a spirit saint leading the team, and you can't even protect a few great spirit masters properly. Useless. All of you are useless. The air in the office instantly froze. Flanders' face changed drastically. Xiaojing, stop. That's enough. Zhao Wuji took one step forward, grabbed Yu Xiaojing by the throat, and hoisted him up. Say that again. The crushing pressure of a spirit saint exploded outward. Yu Xiaojing's face flushed red, his feet dangling off the ground, his struggles pathetic. Zhao Wuji's eyes were savage, as if he might devour the man. Tang San left the team on his own, nearly dragging all the students down with him. Ask him if he has the nerve to blame me. I don't care what Tang San means to you, but even if Tang Hao himself showed up today, my conscience would still be clear. Flander rushed forward to pull Zhao Wuji back. Old Zhao. Xiaojing is just hurting for the kid. Don't take it personally. Zhao Wuji snorted coldly and threw Yu Xiaojing to the ground. Flander, he's your friend, not mine. If he keeps snapping like a mad dog, I won't mind reminding him what the immovable Vajra King's temper is really like. Yu Xiaojing lay on the floor, gasping for breath, his expression as dark as could be. Tang San tried to help him up, but with his own severe injuries, he almost fell himself. I stood at the door watching the scene unfold, and a strange sense of anticipation welled up inside me. Yu Xiaojing is here. Tang San is crippled. The evil fire issue has been dragged into the spotlight. Next, this self-proclaimed master of theory will probably set his sights on me, and I hate nothing more than being someone's lab rat. About 2 or 3 minutes later, Yu Xiaojing finally caught his breath and recovered the ability to speak. The moment he did, his first words were a furious demand at Flander. Flander, you'd better give me an explanation. He had been under the impression that this academy was entirely under Flander's control, which was why he dared to yell at Zhao Wuji in the first place. Yu Xiaojing had assumed that with his connection to Flander, he would naturally be the academy's second-in-command. He hadn't expected to get throttled the moment he cursed at Zhao Wuji, and in front of his beloved disciple Tang San. No less. It felt like a public humiliation. Flander's expression was awkward. He didn't know how to explain it to Xiaojing. Could he tell this grand spirit master, a man with an ego that could explode, yet zero actual strength, that this was the Doloa continent, where the weak do not provoke the strong? But Flanders still needed Yu Xiaojing to help Ma Hongjun and me with our evil fire issues, so he could only turn his gaze toward us. Hongjun, Lin Yin. What exactly happened to Tang San? Ma Hongjun glanced at me. When I didn't speak, he recounted what had happened in the Stardow Forest. Xiao Wu being taken by the Titan giant ape, Tang San losing control and chasing after her, me leaving the group as well. The next day, Tang San was rescued unconscious. Ma Hongjun skipped the irrelevant details but left out none of the crucial cause and effect. Tang San remained silent throughout, his face as pale as paper. The more Yu Xiaojing listened, the uglier his expression became. Finally, he turned his fury toward Xiao Wu. Where is Xiao Wu? Xiao San was wounded this badly, saving her. Where is she? Ma Hongjun curled his lip. Back in the dorms, probably. Just as Yu Xiaojing was about to unleash his temper, Tang San quickly spoke up. Teacher, it's not Xiao Wu's fault. It was my own. Enough. Yu Xiaojing cut him off directly, his eyes filled with frustration at wasted potential. I could see it clearly. He did care about Tang San, but more than that, he was terrified that if Tang San was crippled, no one would ever prove his so-called theories again. He had spent 6 years cultivating this disciple, and now the boy had nearly destroyed himself chasing after a girl. How could he possibly accept it? And there was still Tang Hao to consider. The more Yu Xiaojing thought about it, the more panicked he became. He immediately turned to Flander, his voice rising. Flander, go to Suado City right now and find the best healing spirit master. No matter what, my disciple cannot end here. At that point, I couldn't help but speak up. Actually, he's mostly fine. The wounds will heal in a few days. It's just that some things are missing. The moment the words left my mouth, Yu Xiaojing spun on me like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. Shut up. You're not the one who's hurt. How dare you speak so lightly? What's your name? In that instant, I almost laughed in genuine disbelief. The entire way back, I had been using my spirit power to sustain Tang San's injuries. He might not have even made it back alive otherwise. Yet here Yu Xiaojing was, not asking about the circumstances, not asking about the treatment process, but immediately turning his anger on me. Even Tang San knew this was unreasonable. He finally spoke up in a low voice. Lin Yin has been treating me the whole way. My wounds really are almost healed. Ma Hongjun stepped forward and shot back directly. If it weren't for Lin Yin, do you really think Tang San would still be alive? You don't even thank him, and you're yelling at him instead. That's just heartless. Yu Xiaojing ignored him, but he'd caught the name. Lin Yin. So you're Lin Yin, the one who cultivated blue silver grass into a healing spirit? and has the evil fire dragon as a second spirit, a twin spirit master. My brow twitched. Instinct told me that if I stayed here any longer, I'd be entangled by this master-disciple pair. Right now, all I wanted was to quietly focus on my mission with Xiaowu. I didn't want a direct confrontation with Tang San and Yu Xiaojing. I looked at Flander, keeping my voice low. I'm tired. I'm going back to rest. You guys talk. I turned to leave, but Yu Xiaojing refused to let me go. Did Flander teach you no manners? This is the proper respect you owe an elder. My hand was already on the doorframe. Hearing those words, my fingers tightened involuntarily. From the moment I walked in, he'd first thrown a tantrum at Zhao Wuji, then taken out his anger on Xiao Wu, and now he was trying to pull seniority on me. But did I even know him? I turned back and looked at Yu Xiaojing. Elder? Who's elder? Do I even know you? The office fell silent. Before Yu Xiaojing could respond, Tang San stepped forward. Lin Yin, master is my teacher. You shouldn't speak to him that way. Even if you saved my life, I won't allow you to disresp. ECT, my teacher. I was almost choked by those words. In that moment, I truly understood. This was the Tang San standing before me. The Tang San who, in his past life, was criticized by countless people as the epitome of hypocrisy. Not a rumor, not a joke, but a living, breathing person right in front of me. Ma Hongjun couldn't hold back anymore. He pointed at Tang San and started cursing. Tang San, that's just ungrateful. Lin Yin used most of his spirit power, healing you the whole way. Even a dog knows to wag its tail. And you talk to him like this now? Tang San's expression stiffened. He clearly knew he was in the wrong. But Yu Xiaojing was his teacher, so he could only force out, he disrespected my teacher. I let out a cold laugh. How did I disrespect him? He's your teacher, not mine. I treated you all the way here. You're not tired, but I am. I want to go rest. Is that really so hard to understand? Do I even know him? Tang San opened his mouth, but no words came out. His eyes showed no sign of remorse, only a stubborn, inexplicable rigidity, as if reason didn't matter. Gratitude didn't matter. The only thing that mattered was that I had made his teacher look bad, and that made me wrong. The standoff continued until Flander finally spoke with a frown. Lin Yin, Hongjun, apologized to Master. I whipped my head toward Flander, and even I could hear the disappointment in my own voice. Flander explained slowly, Master is my friend. His theories are highly respected in the spirit world. I invited him here for 2 reasons. First, for your future curriculum and growth. Second, to solve the evil fire issues for you and Ma Hongjun. So, apologize. I felt even more irritated. Ma Hongjun wavered slightly, looking at me, clearly wondering if the evil fire issue was worth swallowing this insult. Flander added another line. Lin Yin, aren't you planning to cultivate your second spirit? Tang San is also a twin spirit master. If you can receive Master's guidance, you might even overcome the greatest weakness of twin spirits, to attach 9 10,000-year spirit rings to your second spirit. And there it was. I finally understood why my right eye had twitched. No surprises here. Next, Yu Xiaojing would inevitably try to insert himself into the cultivation of my second spirit under the guise of master, and Flander actually believed it was a treasure. I sighed and waved Flander off. No need. My second spirit already has spirit rings. What? Yu Xiaojing's voice shot up an octave. You've already attached spirit rings to your second spirit, and you didn't explode. I looked at him with a deadpan expression. I'm dead. The person standing in front of you is a ghost. Happy. Tang San, predictably, jumped in again. Lin Yin, I warned you, watch your tone with my teacher. Don't think you can disrespect him just because you saved my life. I rolled my eyes and cursed internally. Poverty-stricken mountains breed venomous creatures. Despicable people breed twisted hearts. These two were truly a matched pair. On his own, Tang San could almost pass for a normal person. But the moment he stood beside Yu Xiaojing, that double-standard attitude seemed to find its true source. Yu Xiaojing had already walked up to me, his eyes gleaming with greed and urgency. Show me your second spirit right now. What quality are the spirit rings you attached? How did it feel after absorption? Describe it in detail. I ignored him and looked at Flander instead. You said he knows how to cultivate twin spirits? From the looks of it, he seems pretty unreliable. Flander froze. He also realized the inconsistency. Hadn't Yu Xiaojing claimed to have found a method for twin spirit cultivation? Hadn't he said he would have Tang San attach 9 10,000-year rings to his clear sky hammer? So why was he so desperate to ask me about my experience now? Yu Xiaojing felt Flander's gaze and cleared his throat, assuming a mysterious air. Of course, I know the cultivation method for twin spirits. I just wanted to see if you'd made any mistakes. What if the quality of your attached rings is subpar? That would be a waste of talent. I raised an eyebrow. Then what quality qualifies as passable? Yu Xiaojing puffed up his chest. You're a spirit master now. You should be able to handle 1,000-year rings. So for your second spirit, The ring should be at least 1,000-year quality to barely qualify. Anything less is wasting your potential. 1,000-year. I laughed. So you think a spirit master can absorb a 1,000-year ring just because they're a spirit master? Yu Xiaojiang frowned, looking at me as if I were an idiot. Isn't that common sense? I was genuinely amused. Here was a man who'd studied spirit theory for decades, yet he hadn't grasped the relationship between physical strength, meridians, and spirit ring energy. He'd written so meticulously about the ring limits for different cultivation stages, but didn't understand the logic behind it. I looked at him, slowing my words. Has it ever occurred to you that the amount of spirit ring energy a soul master's meridians can handle grows? With each level increase, the body becomes stronger. The reason on some people can't handle cultivating twin spirits simultaneously isn't because the second spirit can't have rings. It's because the combined energy of two sets of rings exceeds what the body and meridians can bear. Yu Xiaojiang looked utterly lost. What are you saying? I stared at him, my mockery barely concealed. I've said it plainly. You still don't understand. I raised a hand. A spirit master isn't able to absorb a 1,000-year ring just because they reached level 30. It's because during the process of training up to level 30, the body and meridians have grown enough to accommodate the next ring. Flanders' eyes widened. He was lost too. Lin Yin, what are you going on about? Isn't it just that only a spirit master can absorb a 1,000-year ring? I opened my mouth to find a simpler analogy, then closed it. Forget it. Why am I bothering to explain all this to them? If they don't get it, they don't get it. I'm going to rest. This time, no one stopped me. Everyone in the office was digesting my words, except Tang San, whose eyes suddenly flickered. Wait. I paused at the door. Tang San stared at me, a hint of shock in his voice. You're saying that the number of years a soul master can absorb in a ring isn't fixed? I turned back, genuinely surprised. You understood. Tang San was silent for a moment, then looked at Yu Xiaojing. Teacher. His voice grew animated. It's not that a spirit master can absorb a 1,000-year ring. It's that once body strength and meridian capacity reach a certain level, a soul master can absorb a 1,000-year ring. If the body is a container and spirit ring energy is water, then as the soul master's level rises, the container expands. When we reach a bottleneck, we choose a ring that fits the remaining capacity. Twin spirit cultivation simply means putting 2 portions of water, or even more, into the same container. He turned back to me. Lin Yin, based on your current body strength and meridian capacity, what quality of ring could you attach to your second spirit? I smiled. No harm in telling you. In the next second, I stopped suppressing my evil fire dragon. Wild flames exploded from nowhere. A massive purple dragon phantom materialized behind me, its low growl like a sovereign rising from a sea of fire. Then the dragon phantom crashed into my body, and a searing wave of heat swept through the office, sending papers flying off the desk. Everyone's expressions changed. Yu Xiaojiang's pupils contracted, his voice trembling. What spirit is this? Why does it have such terrifying presence? 3-century-old ring. S with ornate patterns rose slowly beneath my feet. Tang San stared at the 3 rings, his gaze complex. 3-century rings. It made sense, yet it was slightly unexpected. I knew what he was thinking. He'd already understood the meridian capacity principle, so he guessed my second spirit's rings wouldn't be too high. But the patterns and aura of those 3 rings clearly weren't ordinary century-old ones. Flanders strode up to me. Wasn't your spirit a snake? How did it become a dragon? It evolved in form after absorbing the rings. Flanders' brow furrowed deeply. An awakened spirit can still evolve? I didn't answer. The facts were right in front of them. But Yu Xiaojiang lashed on like he'd found a flaw, a smug expression returning to his face. Attaching 3-century rings to your second spirit. How stupid. What a waste of twin spirit talent. You're just impatient for results, aren't you? I looked at Tang San. Tang San, do you think so too? Tang San said nothing, but the hesitation in his eyes gave the answer. I let out a scoff and turned to leave. This time, no matter how much Yu Xiaojiang called after me to stop, I didn't look back. As the door closed, I heard Tang San ask in a low voice, Teacher, are you truly confident you can have me attach 9-10,000-year rings to my second spirit? Dead silence filled the office. I didn't need to turn around to imagine Yu Xiaojiang's expression. Those words had landed harder than any slap from Zhao Wuji. I returned to my dorm, planning to collapse onto the bed and sleep. But the moment I opened the door, there was Ning Rongrong, already sprawled in my rocking chair, swinging her feet like she owned the place. She lit up the moment she saw me. Took you long enough. I couldn't be bothered to ask how she'd gotten in. I flopped onto the bed. Tang San's teacher is here. Ning Rongrong blinked. Isn't his teacher supposed to be amazing? Why do you look like you've been through torture? I closed my eyes. Don't mention him. Why are you here? She smiled immediately. Let's go shopping. We just got back from the Stardow Forest. I want to eat something good in Suado City. I'm too tired to even move a finger. Tomorrow. I need to rest. Ning Rongrong, of course, wouldn't accept that. She sat on the edge of the bed, grabbed my arm, and shook it. Her voice syrupy sweet. Please, just come with me. You said you'd give me a gift before. I don't want a gift. I just want you to come shopping with me. I didn't even open my eyes. Arya. Oh, I don't want to. But this was Ning Rongrong, the little princess of the 7 treasure glazed tile sect. Spoiled, yes, but also exceptionally good at being adorable. She kept at me, cycling through all sorts of pitiful expressions. Finally, worn down, I relented. Go ask Zhu Qing. If she agrees, I'll go. She broke into a grin and kissed my cheek. You're the best. That evening, on the streets of Suado City, I walked with Zhu Qing on my left and Ning Rongrong on my right, one cool and aloof, the other bright and playful. Almost everyone we passed turned to stare. Ning Rongrong was clearly enjoying the envious looks. She looked up at me. What did you say you were going to give me earlier? I blinked. Didn't you say you didn't want it? Her cheeks flushed. Who said that? That was just an excuse to get you to come shopping with me. You promised. Hurry up and show me. She shook me until I gave in, pulling out the system-rewarded dragon talisman from my storage ring. This is called the dragon talisman. You can activate it by injecting spirit power. But don't try it now. I don't know how powerful it is. We'll test it somewhere private. Ning Rongrong took the gray talisman and examined it closely. Zhu Qing also pulled out her tiger talisman. So mine's just. You definitely can't use it. I cut in. The talismans are bound to the user. No one else can use them, including me. The moment the words left my mouth, an orange flame suddenly condensed in Ning Rongrong's palm. I was too sensitive to fire to miss it. Shit, we're in the middle of the street. I grabbed Ning Rongrong's wrist and thrust her palm skyward. The next second, a blast of orange fire shot upward like a cannonball and exploded in the sky. Boom. The shockwave slammed down, sending ordinary townsfolk stumbling. The entire street erupted into chaos. Ning Rongrong's face went pale, her fingers trembling. I didn't mean to. I just injected a tiny bit of spirit power. I snatched the dragon talisman back and pulled both girls through the panicked crowd, weaving through the chaos until we reached open ground outside the city. I stopped and checked her. Are you okay? Did the talisman backlash? She shook her head, her voice still shaky. I'm fine. But was that fireball really for me? I softened my tone. Zhu Qing, teach her how to use spiritual P. Hour to probe the talisman. Zhu Qing nodded. If you inject spiritual power into it, you can understand its ability. This time, I preemptively held Ning Rongrong's other hand, aiming her palm at the sky. After a moment, Ning Rongrong finally grasped the talisman's ability. Dragon Burst. As long as I inject spirit power, it launches a fiery explosion. The more spirit power, the stronger the blast. I nodded. A growth type attack. That last shot was already close to a spirit master's full power strike. Rongrong, with this, you're no longer just a support spirit master. You can protect yourself on the battlefield, even kill enemies of the same rank. Ning Rongrong's eyes turned red. The 7 treasure glazed tile pagoda was the world's greatest support spirit, but it always lacked self-defense, a chain she'd worn her entire life. Now, the dragon talisman had shattered it. She threw herself into my arms, her voice cracking. Lin Yin, I can finally become a battle spirit master too. I gently patted her head. Keep the talisman safe. I'll train with you properly later. She looked up at me, tearfully beaming. Lin Yin, you're the best. That night, we didn't return to the academy. I didn't replay the sentimental details in my mind. I only remember that by the next morning, my blue silvergrass had fully evolved into blue silver emperor. When I used it to restore their stamina, the life energy was more than twice as strong as before. It could even recover spirit power. That was the real gain. Back at the academy, Yu Xiaojing had already begun his so-called training. On the training ground, all the students were lined up in a row. The red mark from Zhao Wuji's grip was still visible on Yu Xiaojing's neck, but he wore a confident expression again, as if the questions and humiliation of last night had never happened. He looked at Dai Mubai. Dai Mubai, without causing serious injury, defeat all 7 of them, one by one. Dai Mubai looked bewildered. Yu Xiaojing's tone was forceful. Is there a problem? None of them are higher than level 31. He turned to me. Starting with you, Lin Yin. You've already cultivated your 2nd spirit, haven't you? Let me see what those 3 century rings can do in combat. I reminded him, after absorbing those 3 rings, I'm level 36 now. Yu Xiaojing's expression stiffened. He clearly hadn't considered that attaching rings to a 2nd spirit would also raise the master's overall level. But he quickly resumed his lecturing posture. Who asked what level you are? You think a few level ups make you impressive? Dai Mubai, use your full strength to defeat him. I couldn't be bothered to argue anymore. Dai Mubai walked to the center of the training ground, a gleam of excitement in his eyes. Lin Yin, come on, brother. I've been wanting to see what your 2nd spirit can do. I stood across Fro, him and gave a serious warning. Careful, I don't know how much power I can bring out right now. It wasn't empty courtesy. Since I started cultivating my second spirit, I barely used its combat skills. Aside from that man-faced demon spider, I'd never tested it against the same rank soul master. Spirit power circulated through my body. The evil fire dragon's spirit awakened, purple flames erupting from my feet. A massive dragon phantom materialized behind me and crashed into my body, sending a shockwave of heat across the training ground. My hair whipped backward, fire blazing in my eyes. Gasps rippled through the crowd. This is Lin Yin. I thought he was a support spirit master. Ning Rongrong was the most dramatic. She clung to Zhu Zhuqing and screamed, "Lin Yin is so cool. I love you." Zhu Zhuqing didn't shout, but the way she looked at me clearly brightened. I could feel everyone's attention fixed on me. Even Yu Xiaojiang's eyes betrayed a flash of envy he couldn't quite hide. On the other side of the crowd, Tang San also noticed Xiao Wu's gaze. It was the same kind of look she used to give him, but ever since they'd returned from the Stardow Forest, she'd never looked at him that way again. He spoke suddenly. "Xiao Wu, I also have a second spirit. Once my level is higher, I'll be able to cultivate it too. I'll attach 9 high-quality rings to it, then I'll definitely be stronger than Lin Yin." Xiao Wu stiffened. She pulled her gaze away from me, but also subconsciously shifted a step farther from Tang San. "Why are you telling me this? That's your own business." Tang San's face went pale. I didn't look at him. Dai Mubai had already activated his white tiger spirit. "Brother, here I come." First spirit skill, Dragon Fist. Purple fire wrapped around my fists. I planted my foot and shot forward. Dai Mubai laughed. "Good." Third spirit skill, White Tiger Vajra Transformation. 2 figures collided in the center of the training ground. Dai Mubai's strength was overwhelming. The White Tiger spirit's pressure was fiercer than most same-rank soul masters could muster. But he relied too much on spirit skills. I had taken too many hits in the fighting arenas over the years. Dodging, redirecting force, seizing the openings after an attack. It was etched into my body. Every time Dai Mubai's attack came close, I sidestepped and landed a fiery, explosive punch on his most vulnerable spot. Bang, bang, bang. Dai Mubai staggered back several steps, his excitement growing. "Damn, kid, your close combat is slippery." I stopped circling him. "Mubai, get serious. I'm using my second skill." He grinned. "I was afraid you just keep dodging." "Bring it." Second skill, White Tiger Fisher Beam. White light gathered in his mouth. I raised my hand, and purple flames coalesced into a cluster of searing fireballs before me. Second skill, Blazing Fireball. Both skills took form at the same time. The next second, the fireballs and the White Tiger Fisher Beam collided. Boom. The explosion echoed across the training ground, the shockwave sending searing heat across the field. Girls hurriedly pressed down their skirts. Boys raised their arms to shield their faces. Dust and gravel were swept up into the air. The entire field looked like it had been plowed by purple fire. When the smoke cleared, Dai Mubai was lying on the ground, black smoke rising from his body. Ma Hongjun was the first to rush over. Dai Lauda, Oscar panicked too, hurriedly conjuring a sausage and trying to stuff it into Dai Mubai's mouth. I walked over after catching my breath and saw exactly that. Oscar trying to shove a big sausage down the unconscious Dai Mubai's throat. "Oscar, are you trying to save him or choke him to death?" Oscar froze. I crouched down, pried Dai Mubai's mouth open, and pulled out the sausage lodged in his throat. Ma Hongjun and Oscar both shuddered. I didn't have time for them. Raising my hand, I summoned my blue-silver emperor. The grass blade wrapped around Dai Mubai's wrist. First skill, Life Surge, asterisk asterisk. Life energy flowed through the blue-silver emperor into his body. Dai Mubai's furrowed brow slowly relaxed, his chest rising and falling steadily again. 2 or 3 minutes later, he snapped awake and took a deep breath. Holy crap! I just had a nightmare. Someone was shoving something down my throat, almost perforated me. Oscar looked down in shame. I held back a laugh and some guilt. "You weren't dreaming." That person was Oscar. Dai Mubai froze, then shot a venomous glare at Oscar. I quickly pressed his shoulder. "Don't move." "Sorry, Mubai, this is my first real fight against someone. I didn't control the force well." Dai Mubai relaxed and laughed instead. "No worries, brother. I'm glad you've got real power, honestly. I'm not gonna blame you for that. Just heal me up quick. Then I'll deal with Oscar." I was about to continue treatment when Yu Xiaojiang's voice cut in. "Enough. This is still a class, not a playground." I looked up. Everyone looked at him. Dai Mubai had just been blasted unconscious. Oscar Oscar had almost accidentally killed him with kindness. I was in the middle of healing him, and Yu Xiaojiang's first words weren't about injuries or healing. They were about discipline. His face was cold as he continued his LEC. Your performance is abysmal. You call yourselves soul masters, yet you don't even understand the effects of your own skills? How do you expect to fight on a battlefield? And you, Daimubai, you have level 37 spirit power, yet you lost to level 36 Lin Yin. Is your white tiger a sick cat? Daimubai's expression instantly darkened. What did you say? His heterochromatic eyes locked onto Yu Xiaojiang, the aura of the white tiger churning beneath his skin. Yu Xiaojiang felt the pressure, but held his ground, forcing the teacher's authority. So these are the so-called monster geniuses? Your performance today has disappointed me. Now all of you will receive punishment. Run from the academy to Suado City and back. 3 rounds before lunch. There are rocks ready at the gate. Each of you carries one. And remember, you're a team. If one person fails, no one eats. Ning Rongrong erupted. Excuse me? Are you just looking for a fight? You even had rocks prepared in advance. If you want to train, say so. Don't disguise it as one person fails. Everyone suffers. Do you think that makes you look clever? Yu Xiaojiang's face turned purple. He tried to retort but couldn't get a word out because Ning Rongrong had hit the nail on the head. He was using this method to create sheer pressure and bind them together. But the rope he was trying to bind was meant to be tied around Tang San. The standoff continued until Flander appeared from the shadows to smooth things over. All right, Master is a teacher of this academy. His arranged curriculum, you follow it. Mubai is seriously injured. He can rest. Yu Xiaojiang immediately interjected. No, they are a group. If Daimubai rests, someone else must run 10 extra laps and carry his rock. Daimubai's eyes shifted. He was genuinely about to snap. I held him back and shook my head. Forget it, Mubai. I'm the one who hurt you. You rest. I'll run those 10 laps and carry your rock. This wasn't an act. Putting all the complex relationships aside, Daimubai and I had known each other for years, and he'd always treated me well. I'd injured him. It was only right for me to bear part of the burden. But the way Daimubai looked at me suddenly changed, as if something had struck him deeply. He forced himself to stand, his voice thick with emotion. Lin Yin, good brother. I swear, you're a brother for life. As brothers, it's in the heart. What's a little weighted running? A small injury like this, and I let my brother take it for me? Then I'm no man at all. With that, he tore off the blue-silver emperor I was using to heal him, turned, and strode toward the academy gate. Ma Hongjun and Oscar, caught up in the moment, also had red-rimmed eyes. As brothers, it's in the heart. The two followed Daimubai, hoisting their bamboo baskets and massive stones, and ran off towards Satua City Witho. Looking back, I stood there, watching the 3 of them grow smaller in the distance, a bit bewildered. What just happened? I just wanted Daimubai to rest. How did the 3 of them get so fired up? But no matter how they'd interpreted it at that moment, I could feel that the bonds among this group of Shrek monsters were already deviating, subtly, from the path Yu Xiaojiang had envisioned. He'd wanted everyone to orbit Tang San, but the first 3 to charge out were shouting my name. Yu Xiaojiang stood there, his expression grim beyond measure. I glanced at him, said nothing more, and hoisted my own bamboo basket. Ning Rongrong snorted, dragging Zhu Zhuqing and Xiao Wu past him. Tang San lingered at the rear, his expression unreadable, like someone who'd been left behind by everyone. He watched Xiao Wu stick close to Ning Rongrong, watched Daimubai, and the others get fired up because of a single sentence I'd said, and finally understood he was being sidelined. And all of this was now pressing against the most painful spot in his heart. As I stepped through the academy gate, the heavy stone on my back, I heard Tang San's low voice from behind. Teacher, I'm going running too. Yu Xiaojiang didn't answer. The wind swept through the gate, kicking up dust. I glanced back and saw Tang San bending down to pick up his bamboo basket, the one with his name written on it, his knuckles white as he gripped the straps. On the road, Ning Rongrong was fuming the whole way. She carried her stone, her delicate face a mask of impatience. Lin Yin, I want to go back to my sect. I looked at her. She lowered her voice but couldn't hide the grievance. There are no cultivation resources here, no proper teachers, and now we're wasting time with some grandmaster. I don't want to rot away in this dump. Come back to the 7 Treasure Glaze sect with me, okay? I'll have Uncle Sword and Uncle Bone teach you personally. I didn't agree right away. Let's talk about it later. Ning Rongrong assumed I was hesitating, so she turned to pull Zhu Zhuqing's arm. Zhuqing, you come too. The 7 Treasure Glaze sect, or even the Heaven Do Royal Academy, anywhere is better than this place. With our talent, we get top-tier resources. Zhu Zhuqing didn't answer immediately. She looked at me. Lin Yin, What do you think? I kept running, stone on my back, breathing steady. When the time is right, I'll leave. It wasn't an evasion. There was no reason to stay at Shrek anymore. With you Xiaojing around, the trouble would only multiply. But there was one thing I hadn't finished, Xiaowu. She couldn't stay by Tang San's side. Not just because of the system rewards, but because her identity as a transformed spirit beast was too precarious. If Tang Hao really turned her into a spirit ring later, that would be handing the most critical piece of the board straight to Tang San. Just as I was thinking about this, Xiaowu suddenly looked at me. Lin Yin, you said third brothers. She only said half of it, but we all understood. I hadn't lied to her. Maybe there really were miracles in this world, but from what I'd seen so far, his situation was basically hopeless. Wounds can heal, but what he'd lost wasn't something ordinary treatment could bring back. Xiaowu's face paled slightly. She'd already guessed the answer, but hearing it out loud still felt like something sharp had pierced her. Just then, Tang San caught up from behind. Xiaowu. He ran to her side, his eyes filled with eagerness and caution. The teacher said stones can be shared among teammates. If yours is too heavy, I can carry some for you. Xiaowu looked at him, her expression complicated. You're so kind. Hearing this, I glanced over at Zhu Zhuqing. She caught my gaze and murmured quietly, I'll pass. If Dai Mu Bai sees, there might be misunderstandings. Then take at least some of it out. Make it lighter for yourself. Zhu Zhuqing's ears flushed, but she eventually nodded. We stopped, and she took out a few stones to lighten her load. Tang San watched from behind, the envy and jealousy in his gaze almost impossible to hide. I could even feel his stare, like needles, boring into my back. Why is Xiaowu drifting farther from me? Why can Ning Rongrong lean on him so naturally? Why does Zhu Zhuqing listen to him? Those questions crept into Tang San's mind like poison. From morning to midday, we finished the 10 laps. The basket on my back carried nearly half of Ning Rongrong's and Dai Mu Bai's weight, plus a portion of Zhu Zhuqing's stone. But my breathing was still under control, far from breaking. Yu Xiaojiang stood at the academy gate, his eyelid twitching when he saw me. His original plan had been to push everyone to their limits, then swoop in with medicinal baths to win their gratitude. But because I'd shouldered so much of the burden, no one was exhausted enough to need his salvation, which made his scheme awkward. He cleared his throat. I've prepared medicinal baths for you all. Go ahead and use them. Ning Rongrong rolled her eyes. That little bit of medicinal bath isn't even as good as half of Lin Yan's soul skill. She threw her arms around my arm. Come on, dear boyfriend, give me some treatment. Ignoring Yu Xiaojiang's expression, I summoned my blue silvergrass. Golden green leaves spread from my palm, wrapping around Ning Rongrong's waist. First soul skill, life tides. Life energy flowed into her. Within a few breaths, her rapid breathing steadied, and color returned to her cheeks. I looked at the others. Everyone come over. Several blue silvergrass tendrils extended toward each of them. Dai Mu Bai grabbed one first, letting out a long, satisfied sigh. That's amazing, Lin Yin. Did your soul skill get stronger? Ma Hongjun sat down heavily and grabbed a leaf too. I smiled. A little. As my level goes up, Tang San hesitated for a moment, then reached out and grasped a blue silvergrass tendril. In the next instant, his pupils contracted sharply. I saw his fingers twitch, because his own blue silvergrass, in the presence of mine, instinctively cowered, overwhelmed by a sense of submission. Tang San stared at the leaf in my hand, his face slowly turning pale. Lin Yin, Yu Xiaojiang suddenly barked. You're interfering with my teaching order. I looked up at him. He pointed at my blue silvergrass as if he'd caught me committing some crime. The medicinal baths were meant to enhance your physical conditioning. By healing them all now, you've rendered the entire run meaningless. I answered calmly. It was meaningless to begin with. We could achieve the same physical training at higher efficiency and lower time cost. You used the most inefficient method to waste our entire day, and then dressed it up as team building. That's the real problem. Ning Rongrong laughed openly. Ma Hongjun scratched his head, shrugging. Grandmaster, if you wanted to train our physiques, why didn't you say so? Teacher Zhao used to train us that way, and it was a lot faster than running laps. That single sentence cut deeper than any insult. Yu Xiaojiang looked as if all the support had been pulled out from under him. The confidence he'd held so dear, his theories, his meticulously planned exercises, had just been dismissed by a student as inferior to Zhao Wuji's brute force methods. I withdrew my blue silvergrass and turned toward the dormitory. Behind me, Yu Xiaojiang's voice followed, demanding, what do you mean by that? Without looking back, I said, those who can't reach the heights shouldn't lecture the birds. Soon the others dispersed as well, leaving only Tang San and Yu Xiaojiang at the academy gate. Tang San walked up to him, his voice carrying a hint of concern. "Teacher, are you okay?" Yu Xiaojiang grabbed him like a drowning man, clutching driftwood. "Xiao San, thank goodness I still have you." But he didn't see that Tang San's gaze at him no longer held the same unwavering conviction. Doubt, once it appears, doesn't simply vanish. Late at night, in the girls' dormitory, Xiaowu curled up under her blanket, listening to Ning Rongrong chatter excitedly about leaving Shrek for the Seven Treasure Glaze sect or the Heaven Do Royal Academy. Ning Rongrong even invited her to come along. Xiao was silent for a long time. It wasn't that she couldn't bear to leave Tang San. She was afraid. The Seven Treasure Glaze sect and Heaven Do Royal Academy both had powerful figures. If her identity as a transformed spirit beast were exposed, it would spell utter ruin. Ning Rongrong mistook her silence for lingering attachment to Tang San. "Don't bring him up. He's getting more and more extreme. Stop it." Xiao will cut her off abruptly and burrowed back under the covers. Zhu Zhuqing, sensing something off, asked softly, "Is something on your mind?" Xiao Wu only said, "It's nothing." But when the room grew quiet, when Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing were nearly asleep, she poked her head back out from under the blanket and whispered, "Hey, do you two still have some of that grass?" Meanwhile, in the boys' dormitory, Tang San lay on his bed, unable to sleep. Yu Xiaojiang being shot down time and again, Xiao Wu pulling away, my blue-silver grass overpowering his, Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing flocking around me. It all churned in his mind relentlessly. He stared at the moonlight through the window, a faint trace of blood red creeping into his eyes. "Teacher, are you really a failure?" "Xiao Wu, please don't leave me." "Father, where are you?" His breathing grew ragged. He was the one with twin spirits, with mysterious heaven technique and hidden weapons. He should have been the brightest of them all. Yet now everyone was gravitating toward me, while he was being abandoned. All his resentment and fear condensed into a single name, Lin Yan. Tang San suddenly clenched the blanket. If he hadn't dealt with a man-faced demon spider, I wouldn't have run into the Hellfire Hound while chasing Xiao Wu. If your blue silvergrass weren't at level 31, the one everyone gravitates toward would be me. If you hadn't shown up at Shrek, Xiao Wu wouldn't look at me like this. It's all you. You ruined my life. Hate burned through his chest like wildfire. The next second, his soul power surged violently. The level 29 bottleneck, at this very moment, was forcibly broken through. His blue silvergrass spirit automatically emerged from his palm. Tang San froze for a moment, then broke into a wild grin. But he didn't notice the faint black vein, slowly creeping along the deep brown leaves of his spirit. 3 months later, by training with Rongrong and Zhuqing, my soul power surged from level 36 to 38. After Zhuqing integrated her external soul bone, her speed and explosive power completely transformed. And by using that 2,000-year soul bone to catch my breath, I stepped into level 33. My soul power was also pushed up a bit. Only a couple of days ago, I took a leave of absence to return to the Seven Treasures Glaze sect to hunt for my third soul ring. In the original timeline, at this time they were still just great soul masters. Now, each one of them is more daring than the last. Only Tang San, under Yu Xiaojiang's arrangement, absorbed a 1,000-year human-faced demon spider soul ring. Even more absurdly, he clearly missed the 8 spider lances, yet still managed to get a torso bone of similar quality. Although it was only at the 1,000-year level, that was still a torso bone. Once fused, there's almost no room for replacement. When I heard this news, my feelings were indescribably complicated. I was sad because it seemed like there really was something backing Tang San from the shadows. But I was also glad that the future Tang God King's first, forever unchangeable torso bone was only a 1,000-year level. What a joke. I casually tore half of the textbook and threw it away. That afternoon, in a private room at the Soatua City Hotel, the smell of alcohol and food mixed together. Dai Mubai raised his glass, grinning more excitedly than anyone. "Brother, you really brought glory to Shrek today. That All Souls Zune Wild team. You led us and we crushed them." He downed the drink in one gulp, slamming the cup heavily on the table. "Those fire demon dragons of yours are too fierce. Why were you hiding them so well before?" I held my glass and smiled, my gaze sweeping over the people around the table. Ma Hongjun hadn't broken through level 30 yet. Oscar sat nearby, full of envy. Xiao Wu was unusually quiet. Tang San lowered his head, directly pinching a cup of salt, as if holding something back. Ning Rongrong wasn't there, and Zhu Zhuqing had also excused herself early, saying she felt unwell. The private room seemed lively on the surface, but everyone was hiding something. What Tang San hid was unwillingness. He had clearly also broken through level 30, clearly also obtained a new soul ring and soul bone. But today, everyone's attention was on me. What Xiao Wu hid was estrangement. In the past, whenever Tang San was silent, she would definitely be the first to go over and ask, Sanga, what's wrong? But now she just lowered her head and pinched her chopsticks, as if she hadn't noticed Tang San's increasingly cold face. What I hid was vigilance, because I knew that once someone like Tang San suppressed hatred in his heart, it wouldn't end easily. He wouldn't think he was weak, he would only feel that the whole world owed him. Daimubai and I clinked glasses. We're brothers. There will be more chances in the future. The spiciness of the alcohol burned as it went down. Daimubai didn't notice my unease. He slung his arms around Oscar and Ma Hongjun, laughing boisterously. Lin Yin, let's have a drink too. I used to say I'd teach you how to control your evil fire, but now it looks like I should be learning from you. Ma Hongjun raised his glass, a mix of envy and a hint of unspoken loss in his eyes. Same evil fire martial soul. I was using my fire demon dragon to fight on the soul fighting arena as the main attacker, while he was still torn between brothels and cultivation. I filled his glass and gently tapped the rim. Fatty, your evil fire phoenix isn't bad. Just stop wasting your energy on women. If you cultivate seriously, your future achievements won't be low. Ma Hongjun was taken aback, then grinned. All right, for that, I'll drink 2 less cups tonight. Oscar also wanted to come over. Just as he stood up, I quickly raised my hand to stop him. Don't come over. I drank a bit too fast. Need to take a breather. Oscar's steps halted in midair. It's okay. Ba, how about I help you back? No need. I leaned back against the chair, closed my eyes. You guys drink. I'll rest for a bit. Actually, I wasn't drunk. It's Jew. It's tea that the atmosphere at this table was too chaotic. Daimubai's enthusiasm, Tang San's silence, Xiao Wu's detachment, and my own vigilance about the subsequent plot, all squeezed together like a pot of water about to boil. As dusk fell, several wine jars in the private room were already empty. Daimubai drank the most, his left arm around Oscar, his right on Ma Hongjuan's shoulder, his voice starting to slur. There's another round later. Let me show you the sights, Lin Yin. You're always guarding that little Princess Rongrong. There are some places you definitely haven't seen. Xiao Wu was right there at the table, but Daimubai was too drunk to control himself. I put down my cup, my tone still calm. I won't be going. I just got back to the sect a few days ago. I'd feel bad if I turned around and started fooling around with you guys right away. Daimubai looked at me with a face of utter disappointment. You're overthinking it. We're all brothers here. Who's going to snitch? I smiled but didn't change my attitude. You guys have fun. I'm going back to cultivate. He tried to persuade me a few more times, but seeing that I wouldn't budge, he had to give up. Oscar moved his chair closer to Daimubai and lowered his voice. So, Dai Lauda, what about tonight? Ma Hongjun immediately leaned in, his eyes lighting up. I'm in too. The 3 of them exchanged glances, and their laughter immediately exploded in the room. This laughter fell on Tang San's ears like a needle. Daimubai subconsciously looked at him, the words catching in his throat before he could say them. Xiao San, do you want to? The air suddenly went quiet. Everyone knew why he had stopped. Tang San's face paled for a moment, then quickly recovered calm. It's fine. You guys eat. I'm going out for some air. The chair legs scraped across the floor, making a harsh sound. Tang San stood up and left, his back straight. The calmer he appeared, the more chilling it felt. Daimubai sobered up a bit, looking awkwardly at Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu, I really didn't mean it. How about you go check on him? Apologize to him for me. Xiao Wu stared at the closed door, was silent for a moment, then shook her head. Forget it. He shouldn't take it to heart. But I could hear it in her voice. She didn't even believe that herself. In 3 months, a rift had formed between Tang San and Xiao Wu. That rift wasn't something a simple apology could fill. Daimubai made an excuse to go pay the bill, and Ma Hongjun and Oscar followed him out. The door closed, and the private room that had just been so noisy was left with just me and Xiao Wu. She sat by the window, her fingers unconsciously tracing patterns on the table. She suddenly spoke. Are you really going to go with Rongrong to the 7 Treasures Glaze sect? I looked up at her. Not necessarily. I don't like the constraints of a sect. I'll probably go to the Heaven Do Royal Academy or somewhere else. Why do you ask? Xiao Wu shook her head, her voice a bit muddled. Nothing. Just asking. She paused, then seemed to muster her courage. Then what are your future plans? Join what kind of power? Cultivate to what level? Or what kind of person do you want to become? I looked at her increasingly uneasy eyes, and I roughly understood. Xiao wasn't suddenly interested in my life plan. She wanted to ask if I would be strong enough in the future, strong enough to help her get revenge. She had already broken away from Tang San, and the original purpose for coming to the human world resurfaced. Bibi Dong, the spirit hall, her mother's death, these things were weighing on her heart, even if she usually laughed and acted carefree as if nothing was wrong. If you need help, you can tell me directly. I softened my voice. I'll help as much as I can. Xiao Wu's eyes flickered for a moment, then quickly dimmed again. She opened her mouth, but in the end, swallowed the words back down. Forget it. It's nothing. You eat first. I'm going back. She left quickly, as if afraid that if she stayed a moment longer, she would really spill her secret. I didn't call out to stop her. Some secrets, once spoken aloud by Xiao Wu, would no longer be just her own burden. 100,000-year soul beast, Spirit Hall, BB Dong, Tang San's revenge. Any of those words was enough to tear the current Shrek apart. What's more, she was starting to waver. She wanted to find a new pillar of support, but was afraid of dragging others into the abyss with her. At a time like this, if I pressed her, I would only push her further away. The door closed again. I sat alone in the private room, rubbing my brow. Tang San, Xiao Wu, the Seven Treasures glazed sect. All the troubles seemed to be converging on me, pushed by an unseen hand, and at this very moment, the Seven Treasures glazed sect had already erupted first. In the main hall, the torches were blazing. Ning Rongrong stood in the center, facing Ning Fingji, Sword Delua Chenxian, and Bon Delua Gurong. She had returned to the sect without prior notice. The three old men were so excited upon seeing her that they nearly forgot all the sect rules. Sword Delua, usually so stern, now smiled so wide the corner. S of his eyes crinkled. Rongrong, this trip seems to have been quite fruitful. It's only been 3 months, but our little princess seems to have grown up. Ning Rongrong wrinkled her nose. Sword Grandpa, you're already teasing me. Chen Xian laughed. Gurong swallowed the compliments he had prepared and quietly looked at Ning Fengji. Ning Fengji was also looking at Rongrong. His daughter's eyes were brighter than when she left, and her mannerisms had gained a confidence she didn't have before. This change was gratifying, but it also stirred a faint unease in his heart. Grandpa Sword, let's have a match. Ning Rongrong raised her chin. I want to see how much I can actually do now. Chen Xian chuckled. All right, let Grandpa Sword see what our Rongrong has learned in these 3 months. None of the three took it seriously. No matter how much a Seven Treasures glazed pagoda soul master learned, it was just some self-defense techniques. Ning Rongrong saw the dismissiveness in their eyes, and a little temper flared up inside her. She raised her hand, summoning her Seven Treasures glazed pagoda. The colorful light swirled as the small tower rose. But this time, there was no longer only auxiliary light in her palm. The Seven Treasures pagoda emitted a crisp, resonant sound that echoed through the hall, a technique resembling colored glass dragon burst. Chen Xian still had his hands behind his back, smiling carelessly. Look at that. Pretty impressive imitation. The next second, a huge fireball erupted from Ning Rongrong's right palm. The flames were too fast, too hot. Almost instantly, it was flying towards Chen Xian. Gurong's expression changed drastically. Oh no. Old man dodged, space twisted, and his figure instantly appeared in front of Chen Xian. Bang! The fireball slammed into the defensive barrier. The entire main hall shook, and dust rained down from the beams. The smile on Chen Xian's face froze solid. Ning Fengji's pupils contracted violently. He hurried to Ning Rongrong's side. You did this? Ning Rongrong raised her chin, proud as a young peacock that had just displayed its feathers. Otherwise, Gurong and Chen Xian both sucked in a cold breath. A Seven Treasures glazed pagoda soul master had unleashed an attack close to the full power of a soul ancestor. This wasn't just a surprise. This was something that could alter the fate of the Seven Treasures glazed sect. Ning Fengji crouched down, carefully examining the Seven Treasures glazed pagoda in her hand. The martial soul hadn't changed. It wasn't a soul evo, Lushan, nor did it seem to be a soul bone skill. Rongrong, how did you do this? Ning Rongrong blinked, her smile sweet. Secret. It's a gift from my boyfriend. The word boyfriend hit the hall like a plunge in temperature. Chen Xian and Gurong were at her side in an instant. Boyfriend? Which faction? How old? What's his martial soul? Where is he now? They fired questions without pause. Ning Fengji looked at his daughter, unable to hide the intimacy in her eyes, and his fingers slowly tightened in his sleeves. Rongrong was only 12. She was the next heir of the Seven Treasures glazed sect. Her marriage, her future, was supposed to be the sect's most important strategic asset. But now, someone had quietly taken this chess piece off the board without his knowledge. Sword Delua's voice transmission entered his ear. Fengji, calm down. Ask her clearly first. Don't hurt Rongrong's feelings. Ning Fengji suppressed his emotions, keeping his voice gentle. Rongrong, why don't you tell us slowly what happened these past 3 months? Ning Rongrong folded her arms, tilting her head. No. I promised my boyfriend I'd keep it a secret. Sword Delua and Bon Delua felt like a knife had been stabbed in their hearts. Their little princess, doted on for 12 years, had been out for only 3 months, and was already completely on an outsider's side. Chen Xian forced down the sour feeling, placing a hand on Ning Rongrong's shoulder. Don't move. Let me check your meridians. Ning Rongrong pouted, a little dissatisfied, but didn't resist. Soul power probed into her meridians. The main hall was silent again. After a moment, Chen Xian slowly looked up. No traces of external interference. The soul power is very condensed, even more stable than before she left. The shock in Ning Fengji's eyes deepened. 3 months. From level 26 to 30. A mysterious attack method. Gift. A boyfriend who could enable a 7 treasures glazed pagoda soul master to unleash a flame blast. All these pieces together were enough to drive any faction wild. Outwardly, Ning Fengji remained steady, but inside, he was already breaking down the matter into countless possibilities. What if all 7 treasures glazed pagoda soul masters could acquire offensive abilities? What if Rongrong's method of raising 4 levels in 3 months could be replicated, pushing the seal? ING for the younger generation of the sect? What if that youth named Lin Yin could be controlled, giving the sect a potential trump card for decades to come? But what if he couldn't be controlled? The warmth in Ning Fengji's eyes was slowly replaced by a deeper, more calculating coldness. A few days later, at Shrek Academy, I was in my dorm testing the synergy between my Fire Demon Dragon and Blue Silver Emperor. Zhu Juqing sat nearby, helping me record soul power consumption. The door was suddenly kicked open. Lin Yin. Ning Rongrong was holding the doorframe, gasping for breath. Zhu Juqing and I were both startled. Seeing it was her, I barely managed to stop the fireball I was about to throw. Why are you back so soon? Did you get your soul rings? Ning Rongrong's face paled instantly. You guys need to pack up quick. My dad and Grandpa Sword and Grandpa Bone, they're all here. You guys, hurry up and get ready. My dad, Uncle Sword, and Uncle Bone are all here. What? My heart slammed. Ichen, how could you bring them here? Ning Rongrong lowered her head guiltily. I just showed them the dragon talisman. They insisted on coming to see you. I was speechless. Didn't I tell you not to make a fuss? That thing is not an ordinary soul, not an ordinary soul tool. It's an ability enough to get an auxiliary sect sealed away. Ning Rongrong's eyes reddened, and she whispered, but they're my father and grandfathers, not outsiders. I stared at her, unable to speak for a long time. The closer the relatives, the better they know how to push you onto the altar of sect interests in the name of love. Rongrong might think they're not outsiders, but in Ning Fengji's eyes, he is first and foremost the future heir of the 7 treasure glazed sect. Sword de Luo and Bone de Luo would dote on her, spoil her, and feel heartache if she shed a single tear. But Ning Fengji is different. This man can put the sect above everything else. If he judges that my secrets are more important than Rongrong's temporary sadness, then what I face today won't be a family inspection, but interrogation by the upper 3 sects. What's worse, Xiao Wu is still outside. If Ning Fengji, Sword de Luo, and Bone de Luo all come to Shrek and run into her, her identity as a 100,000-year soul beast won't stay hidden. I turn to Zhu Juqing. Juqing, while no one's paying attention, go to the Tua City and find Xiao Wu. Tell her Ning Rongrong brought her family back to the academy. Don't explain too much. She'll understand. Zhu Juqing frowned, but didn't ask questions, just nodded. I then turned to Ning Rongrong, grabbing her shoulders with both hands. No matter what happens later, you have to stand by my side and stay with me. Understand. Rongrong didn't fully understand yet, but her gaze slowly grew determined. I understand. I'm on your side. Remember, if today your father, Uncle Sword, and Uncle Bone all attack me together, you have to save me first. Ning Rongrong was stunned. What kind of time is this to ask that? I had no mood to explain, and just grabbed her hand. No need to answer. Just remember, save me first today. The door opened, and sunlight streamed in, stinging my eyes. 3 people stood outside. Ning Fengji was still refined and elegant, a smile in his eyes, as if he truly was just an elder coming to meet his daughter's boyfriend. Chen Xian, dressed in white, had sharp, keen features. Gu Rong, in a black robe, stood with a heavy aura and a gloomy gaze. Seeing me holding Ning Rongrong's hand, his face instantly turned cold. I didn't greet them, nor did I bow my head, because I knew very well, in the face of absolute power, humility won't buy safety. It only makes the other party more certain that you can be manipulated. The more respectful I acted, the more they'd think I was easy to negotiate with. The more I yielded, the more they'd think Rongrong was just being deceived, and that as long as they pulled me away from her side, all my secrets would fall into the hands of the 7 treasure glazed sect. So I had to be tough enough to make them realize I wasn't a common soul master. They could mold at will. Even if this stubbornness looked foolish. The air was frozen for a long time. Chen Xian spoke first. So you're Ling Yin. Chen Xian glanced at Ning Rongrong. Rongrong, go back to your dormitory first. We'll talk with him alone. Ning Rongrong immediately wrapped her arms around my waist. I won't go. Gu Rong's anger exploded. Let go. He pointed at me. Gu Rong gritted his teeth. Kid, I told you to let go. Can't you hear me? I looked down at Ning Rongrong, holding me tightly, and pulled her closer instead. Sorry, Rongrong's holding on tight. I can't let go. Gu Rong laughed in anger. Fine, Fine, you've got guts. I smiled too, but the smile didn't reach my eyes. The ones with guts are you. Have I mistreated Rongrong or hurt her? Enough to make the sect master of the Seven Treasure Glaze sect and two titled Dolua personally come to corner a mere soul master. Ning Rongrong's body stiffened. She finally understood. Her father and two grandfathers weren't here for a simple visit. They came for the dragon talisman, for the secret of her art, rising 4 levels in 3 months, for a chance that could free the Seven Treasure Glaze sect from its destiny of being an auxiliary sect. Ning Fengji's smile didn't waver. Little friend Ling Yin, it seems you have some misunderstandings about us. I cut him off. You won't get any secrets from me. If you have the guts, kill me. Under the sunlight, Ning Rongrong's face turned completely pale. She suddenly pulled a dagger from her storage device and shoved it into my hand. If they dare touch you, kill me. We'll die together. I was stunned for a moment. The next second, I took the dagger and held it to her neck. If we die together. The cold blade touched the girl's skin. Chen Xian and Gu Rong's auras exploded simultaneously. 9 spirit rings ignited at Gu Rong's feet, and the pressure of a tidal Dolua weighed down like a mountain. But with Ning Rongrong shielding me, that pressure didn't dare fall completely. Chen Xian's 7-kill sword also materialized, its tip pointed at me. Kid, let go of Rongrong now or die. My hand holding the dagger didn't tremble, but my heart sank little by little. I underestimated the title Dolua, and I underestimated the resolve of the upper 3 sects. They truly had ways to save Rongrong, even if I injured her. In the end, using her as a threat trapped them, but it also trapped me. I hesitated, the dagger slowly lowering. Gu Rong sighed in relief and moved forward. Who dares? Ning Rongrong suddenly snatched the dagger and stabbed it towards her own neck. Rongrong, Chen Xian and Gu Rong cried out in unison. My back went cold. Blue silver grass vines immediately coiled around her wound, life energy pouring in frantically. Don't push deeper. If it hits a vital point, even I can't save you. Ning Rongrong, red-eyed, looked at the 3 opposite her. Father Ling Yan's gifts have many restrictions. They can't be used by the sect. Uncle Sword, Uncle Bone, if you keep forcing him, I'll die right here. Her voice trembled, but her hand didn't let go. At this moment, the tables finally turned. Sword Dolua and Bone Dolua were truly afraid. They might not fear my threats, but they didn't dare gamble with Ning Rongrong's resolve. The breath I'd been holding finally eased. I held her tight and whispered, Rongrong, good girl. All those days of spoiling, you weren't for nothing. Ning Rongrong suddenly seemed to remember something and quickly added, Ling Yin, and I have already, and I'm pregnant with his child. If you kill him, my child will have no father. I almost choked on her lie. There's no need for that. Those 2 titled Dolua can tell if you're pregnant or not. Ning Rongrong glanced nervously at Sword and Bone Dolua. Sure enough, both their faces were as dark as a pot. Ning Fengji was silent for a long time, then finally spoke. Little friend Ling Yin, we came today simply as Rongrong's family. Why go this far? I looked at his gentle face and felt only disgust. Even when Rongrong stabbed the knife into her own neck, her biological father could remain so calm. This wasn't composure. This was, say whatever you want now. I released the blue silver grasp binding Rongrong and took the dagger off her. I'll say it again. You won't get any secrets from me. If you have the guts, kill me. With those final words, I took Ning Rongrong's hand, turned, and entered the room, slamming the door shut behind us. As soon as she was inside, Ning Rongrong panicked. Ling Yin, I'm sorry. I didn't know it would turn out like this. I looked at her neck wound, slowly healing, a mix of anger and sympathy. No, you really didn't think. Her eyes reddened. Are you scolding me? I healed her while saying coldly, didn't I warn you before not to casually reveal the secret of the talismans? Why do you have to show off so much? She lowered her head and mumbled, but they're my father and grandfathers, not outsiders. I rolled my eyes. Hopeless. Ning Rongrong immediately hugged my arm. I know I was wrong. Just now I stood by you, didn't I? Please don't be mad at me. Okay? Looking at her pitiful expression, I finally couldn't bring myself to scold her anymore. It's not about whether I'm mad or not. It's about whether your dear family is willing to let me go. Ning Rongrong looked up, her eyes serious. If you die, I'll die with you. I almost choked. I want to live. Outside, Ning Fengji, Sword Dolua, and Bone Dolua were still standing in the sunlight. None of the 3 looked happy. The core figures of the Prestige, a 7-treasure Glaze sect, shut out by a 12-year-old soul master. Unheard of. Gu Rong couldn't hold back first. Fengji, what now? Ning Fengji's gaze fell on the closed door. He's smart. He knew to use Rongrong to stop us. Chen Xian sighed. Maybe we should let it go. Twin martial souls, 12 years old, level 38, and he protects Rong to this extent. The future of the Seven Treasure Glaze sect might truly need him. Gu Rong, though reluctant, also chimed in. That kid's mouth is annoying, but his feelings for Rong don't seem fake. Ning Fengji looked up at the sky, his voice gentle, but cutting like a knife. The sect's strength cannot rely on just one person. Chen Xian and Gu Rong both fell silent. They understood. Ning Fengji still coveted Ling Yan's secrets, even willing to gamble with Ning Rong's emotions and life. Chen Xian's gaze held a hint of reluctance for the first time. Fengji, do you really have to go this far? Ning Fengji didn't answer directly. Leave him for now. Since he can tie Rong to us, in the future, we can also find his weaknesses through Rong. With those words, Chen Xian and Gu Rong's hearts both shuddered. They suddenly realized that this refined sect master could even place his own daughter on his chessboard. After a long silence, Ning Fengji finally uttered 4 words. Give him a warning. Chen Xian understood. Not kill, not cripple, but make Ling Yin know that the upper 3 sects were not something a common soul master could provoke lightly. A moment later, Chen Xian walked to the door. Rong, come out. We're about to return to the sect. Come out and say goodbye. Inside, Ning Rong and I exchanged a glance. She thought it was finally over. I wasn't completely relaxed. The moment the door opened and Ning Rong saw Chen Xian's smiling face, she wrinkled her nose and snorted. Uncle Sword, don't you dare. The wooden door beside her was suddenly crushed into fragments by spatial pressure. I instinctively let go of her hand. The space twisted, and I was forcibly teleported by Gu Rong to the center of the training ground. My heart seized. It wasn't killing intent. They were testing me. Ning Rong realized what was happening and rushed forward frantically. Uncle Sword, what are you doing? Chen Xian, holding the 7-kill sword, walked towards me step by step. Don't worry. As your boyfriend, he should have the strength to protect you. Uncle Sword is just seeing what he's made of. Gu Rong held Ning Rong's shoulder, his soul power, sealing her voice. I watched Chen Xian's 9 spirit rings appear beneath his feet. Bloodfire Evil Dragon instantly possessed me. Purple flames exploded from beneath my feet, and the phantom of a giant dragon appeared in the air before crashing into my body. The flames spread towards Chen Xian, but were blocked by invisible sword energy. I knew I'd have to suffer some pain today, but even if I had to be beaten, I didn't want to bow my head. Old bastard. I pointed at Chen Xian, my voice cold and fierce. Whatever you do to me today, I will repay 100-fold in the future. Chen Xian chuckled lightly, pointing his sword at me. Quite the bold talk. Let's see how you manage that. First spirit ability, sword draw, a yellow spirit ring lit up, and sword energy, as if ignoring space itself, was instantly in front of me. My dragon wings burst open, and I launched into the air. The sword energy grazed my feet and sliced into the forest behind me, cleanly cutting down a row of trees. Chen Xian raised an eyebrow. An external soul bone. You got quite the fortune, kid. Hovering in midair, my anger finally boiled over. You're really serious, aren't you? Of course, Chen Xian said calmly, raising his sword. Do you think any stray cat or dog can provoke the 7 Treasure Glaze sect? Show me all your strength, or don't blame me if the 7-kill sword gets a little too sharp. The next wave of sword energy was overwhelming. I could only flip and dodge in the air using my dragon wings. Each sword aura grazed past vital points. One wrong move, and my limbs would be severed. My breathing grew heavier. Every flap of my wings felt like throwing soul power into a fire. Chen Xian's attack seemed casual, but for a soul master like me, any move from a titled Delual was a line between life and death. I couldn't bet on him holding back. Nor could I bet that Ning Rong could truly tear the 7 Treasure Glaze sect apart if I lost a limb. So I just dodged, all the while memorizing the speed and timing of each sword aura. If he gave me even a single moment's opening, I was determined to make him taste defeat. Ning Fengji and Gu Rong watched me flee in panic, their expressions finally easing. Chen Xian, too, seemed to be enjoying his petty revenge. Only when Ning Fengji sent a mental message for him to give me one chance to strike back did the sword energy gradually lessen. I seized the gap to catch my breath, pouring all my soul power into my 2nd spirit ring. 2nd spirit ability, Flame Bomb. Purple fireballs condensed in the air, swirling slowly around me. Chen Xian didn't rush to interrupt. He stopped and watched. A spirit ability that requires setup or rather average tactic. I laughed coldly. Want to know my powers so badly? Fine, I'll give you a real show today. 3rd Spira. T ability. The 3rd spirit ring at my foot lit up. A single spark appeared above my palm, circling my head once. The 2nd second, 10 sparks. 3rd second, 100. 4th second, 1,000. A purple ring of fire formed above my head, spinning faster and faster, the air warping from the heat. The casual look on Chen Xian's face finally vanished. 100-year spirit ring. yet it has this kind of power. What other secrets are you hiding? I held the fire ring with both hands. The purple light dyed everything in a sinister hue. Old bastard, since you like bullying the weak so much, then eat this. The fire ring tilted, and a barrage of burning projectiles rained down on Chineke. Chin Xin raised a soul power barrier, blocking the direct impact. Sparks exploded like a storm. But this was the moment I was waiting for. Using the explosion as cover, I folded my dragon wings and silently landed behind him. First spirit ability, Dragon Fist. Purple flames enveloped my fists, and I slammed them into Chin Xion's side. Boom. The punch made Chin Xion's body lurch. His frontal barrier instantly wavered. The remaining fire ring and fireballs all crashed down in front of him. A huge crater was blasted into the training ground. Ning Fengji's expression changed slightly, and his 7-treasure glazed pagoda immediately lit up, layering defensive boosts on Chin Xian. As the smoke cleared, Chin Xian stood in the crater, his white robes tattered, his face smudged with black soot. He wasn't seriously injured, but that humiliating appearance was enough to fuel his rage. Chin Xian raised his sword to strike again. Ning Rongrong, however, broke free from Gu Rong's restraints and rushed in front of me, spreading her arms to shield me. Uncle's sword. If you hit him again, I'll never speak to you again. Chin Xian froze. He stared at his precious little princess, who was full of concern only for me, and was so furious he almost choked. I steadied Ning Rongrong's waist and looked up at the three of them. I've already given my warning. Gu Rong snorted. You? Just you? I smiled. I can't beat you old guys, but I can sure beat your precious little princess. Whatever I suffer at your hands today, I'll let your beloved Rongrong pay back with some interest. If I can't beat you, can I beat your little princess? With those words, I reached out and put my arm around Ning Rongrong's shoulder, pulling her in front of me. Gu Rong's veins bulged on his forehead, and the space around him distorted slightly. Kid, take your hand off. My soul power was already depleted, and my chest felt tight, but I didn't show the slightest sign of weakness. Rongrong, I have something important to tell you. Now, tell them to leave the academy first. The air seemed to freeze. Chin Xion's grip on the 7-killing sword turned his fingers white, and even Ning Fengji's gentle smile faded a little. They understood perfectly that I wasn't asking them to leave, but forcing Ning Rongrong to make the decision herself. Earlier, they had used 2 title Dolois to pressure me, and now I wanted them to see who Ning Rongrong would actually listen to. The eyes of all 3 fell on Ning Rongrong. She glanced at me first, then at her father and 2 grandfathers. There was reluctance in her eyes, but she didn't step away from me. Grandpa Jian, Grandpa Gu, you should go back first. Chin Xion's expression stiffened. Ning Rongrong bit her lip, but still finished what she had to say. The academy members will be back soon. I don't want them to think that I need my family to step in every time I encounter a little trouble after leaving the sect. Father, I'm doing well here. You don't have to worry about me, Rongrong. When Chin Xian tried to step forward, I directly blocked him in front of Ning Rongrong. What needs to be said has been said. Since you 3 have made your decision, I won't see you out. I took Ning Rongrong's hand and turned back into the room. The wooden door had been shattered by Gu Rong earlier, so I raised my hand and released the blue silver grass. The blue-gold leaves quickly intertwined, sealing the damaged entrance tightly. There was silence outside for a few moments, and then Gu Rong's suppressed roar pierced through the grass blades. Old Jian, did you see that? Rongrong actually drove us away for that brat. Chin Xion's voice was also chillingly cold. I saw it. No need for you to say it again. Ning Fengji never got angry, but the more composed he was, the more it showed he was already recalculating everything that had just happened. Gu Rong and Chin Xian couldn't bear to make Ning Rongrong sad. That was their biggest weakness. Ning Fengji didn't have that weakness, but he also couldn't really gamble against his own daughter in front of the 2 guardian title Delo. No one won this confrontation. They didn't get my secret and were kept outside by a soul master. I didn't truly escape danger either. I just bought a little breathing room by using Ning Rongrong's stance. Gu Rong was silent for a moment, then suddenly thought of something else. What about Rongrong's 3rd soul ring? Ning Fengji finally let out a cold laugh. Isn't he so capable? Since he could make Rongrong improve 3 ranks in 3 months, what's a 3rd soul ring to him? The sound of footsteps gradually faded as Chin Xian and Gu Rong stopped arguing and followed Ning Fengji out of the academy. It wasn't until the 3 powerful auras had completely vanished that the taut string at the back of my mind finally snapped. My legs gave way, and I sat down heavily on the sofa. The fight with Chin Xian hadn't just consumed my soul power. The sword energy that had grazed past me left stinging pains everywhere. It also made me fully realize the gap. If a title Dolois truly wanted to kill me, they wouldn't need a second move. The reason I dared to stand my ground earlier was because retreating would only make them press harder. Now that they were gone, exhaustion hit me all at once. Ning Rongrong quickly knelt in front of me, her eyes still red-rimmed. Lin Yin, I'm sorry. I really didn't know my father and the two grandfathers would be like this. Looking at the newly healed wound on her neck, my anger flared up again. How many times have I told you? Talismans aren't ordinary soul tools, and they're definitely not toys you can show off to anyone. Why can't why? Oh, you control yourself. Ning Rongrong lowered her head. Her voice grew softer and softer, but they're my family. I thought it would be okay. The more family they are, the more they know what can make their sect stronger. I reached out and tapped her forehead. Think before you act next time. If you had hesitated even a little today, I'd be back at the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile sect by now. Ning Rongrong hugged my arm, tears welling up in her eyes. I know I was wrong, but didn't I stand by you just now? Don't be mad anymore. I tried to pull my hand back, but she held on tighter. Seeing her like this, I couldn't keep scolding her. I'm not blaming you for causing me trouble. I'm afraid you don't understand your father at all. Ning Rongrong looked up. Father is always for the sect. He's always for the sect. I stared into her eyes and pressed down word by word. So when the sect's interests conflict with mine, you'd better think clearly in advance about which side you're on. Her face paled slightly, but she didn't look away. If you die, I'll die with you. I was so angry my temples throbbed. I want to live. Don't ever gamble with your own life again. And don't ever really hurt yourself. Ning Rongrong finally broke into a smile through her tears and nodded vigorously. I leaned back on the sofa and closed my eyes to recover my strength. The conflict today seemed to be over, but in reality, it had only brought the contradiction between me and Ning Fengji into the open. Chen Xian and Gurong's hostility toward me came more from their affection for Ning Rongrong. As long as I didn't hurt her, no matter how angry they got, they wouldn't truly. But Ning Fengji was different. In his eyes, his daughter was his daughter, but the sect heir was also the sect heir. As long as the secret I carried could possibly change the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile sect, he wouldn't give up easily. This time it was a warning. Next time it might be a more subtle probe. I had to become stronger as quickly as possible. The next morning, in the rest area of the Suatua Great Spirit Arena, 8 people were gathered around the same match list. Their expressions varied. At the top of the list were 5 words: Heavenly Royal Academy. Yu Xiaojing and Flinders stood at the door, both looking serious. Today's opponents are the Yellow Doe team. Their overall soul power levels are higher than yours, and their martial soul qualities aren't weak either. This match will be very tough. I'm not asking you to win at all costs. Yu Xiaojing's gaze swept over everyone and paused on Yu Tianing's name. Dai Mubai frowned at the list, but his tone was still confident. We've beaten plenty of tough opponents before. Yu Xiaojing's face immediately darkened. He was a descendant of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan. Even though he hadn't awakened his clan's inherited martial soul and had long since left the family, he still considered the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon the world's #1 beast-type attack martial soul. Comparing Yu Tianhing to their previous opponents was, to him, an insult to his clan's honor. What do you know? Yu Xiaojing stepped forward, his voice cold. The Yellow Doe team has a Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Soul Master. That's one of the top 3 clans' inherited martial souls. Its attack power is unmatched at the same level. Among you, who dares to guarantee they can block him head-on? He then looked at Dai Mubai and Zhu Zhuqing. If you could use your martial soul fusion technique, you might have a chance. But you can't even manage basic coordination. As inheritors of the Star Luo Empire's royal martial soul, unable to use Nether White Tiger, aren't you ashamed? Dai Mubai's face flushed red, and the aura of the White Tiger martial soul was already rising from his shoulders. Flender immediately suppressed him with a heavy voice. Mubai. I reached out and held Dai Mubai's shoulder. Forget it. Just do our best. We've all come this far. To be honest, a level 39 Yu Tianhing didn't scare me that much. I was more concerned about Duge Yin and Yi Lingling. Duge Yin was the key to getting close to the ice and fiery in Yangwell and the immortal herbs. Yi Lingling's 9-star begonia was the continent's top healing martial soul. Their value was far greater than Yu Tianing's. Just as I was about to look at the list again, Yu Xiaojing's cold laugh rang out again. Ridiculous. He stared at me, his eyes filled with undisguised hostility. The Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon is the continent's #1 beast-type attack martial soul. You don't actually think that your mutated dragon soul with that evil fire can match him, do you? The rest area fell silent instantly. Ma Hongjuan's smile froze on his face, and Oscar slowly put down his sausage. Over the past 3 months, I had been the one taking the lead in every team battle, and afterward, I used my blue silver grass to heal them. Yet today, Yu Xiaojing was mocking even me. This was no longer pre-match analysis, but putting personal feelings on the table. Seeing no one responded, he became even more aggressive. You might as well forfeit. You've gotten this far with a 100-year spirit ring because of luck, not because you're strong. Your opponents in the past were just too weak. Without the right theoretical guidance, haphazardly attaching spirit rings to your martial soul Your current achievements are only temporary. The risks of evil fire going out of control or your body breaking down will catch up with you sooner or later. And at this point, you still want to compete with a blue lightning tyrant dragon? Absolutely absurd. I laughed at that. Then why don't you go up? Yu Xiaojiang froze. What? I raised my voice so everyone in the room could hear clearly. I said, why don't you take Luo Sanpao up there? After all, Luo Sanpao is also a mutated blue lightning tyrant dragon. Maybe when he faces Yu Tianning, he can create a miracle through bloodline resonance. Yu Xiaojiang's face turned from blue to red, veins bulging on his forehead. Bastard, do you know what you're saying? Of course I do. I slapped the list onto the table. The Spirit Arena doesn't have an age limit. Even though you're a great soul master mixed in with us soul masters, which is a bit of a drag, we're all family here, so no one will hold it against you. I turned to Dai Mubai. Don't you agree? Dai Mubai, who had been suppressing his anger, finally found an outlet and burst out laughing. This time I have to disagree with you. If he really goes up, who goes down? Every position in a 7-person team battle is important. I still want to win. Ma Hongjuan's shoulders shook with suppressed laughter, and Oscar turned around completely to avoid Yu Xiaojiang, seeing his expression. Yu Xiaojiang's eyes were bloodshot, but he couldn't squeeze out a single coherent retort. He could only cast a pleading look toward Flender and Tang San. Flender's face was grim. Enough. Xiao Gang is your teacher. Lin Yin apologized to the master. I gave him a cold look. Say that to my future father-in-law. Flender was stunned. What do you mean? I raised my chin. I mean, I'm the future son-in-law of the 7 treasure glazed tile sect now. Ning Fengji and the 2 guardian title Dolawa have already met me. If you want to stand up for Yu Xiaojiang, think carefully about whether you can handle the consequences. I used this borrow at authority without any guilt. Since Ning Fengji hadn't killed me, he wouldn't allow others to harm me easily. At least until he got his secret, my relationship with Ning Rongrong was the best shield I had. Ning Rongrong immediately stood by my side. Lin Yin is the person I've chosen. If anyone wants to make things hard for him, they have to get through me first. The rest area went quiet for a beat and then completely erupted. Dai Mubai threw his arm around my shoulder. Nice one, brother. You go out for 3 months and come back as the son-in-law of an upper 3 sect. Ma Hongjun immediately crowded in. When you get rich, don't forget us. Oscar's envy was barely concealed. Brother, when you get into the 7 treasure glazed tile sect, remember to save a spot for me. Bump fists with them. No problem. Brothers in heart, brothers for life. Ma Hongjun was so pumped he clenched his fists and shouted, with words like that, I'll give 110% today. The tense atmosphere was swept away by laughter. Ning Rongrong leaned against me, smiling proudly and sweetly. Although Zhu Qing didn't say anything, her gaze had noticeably softened. Only Tang San and Yu Xiaojiang stood apart from the group. Tang San lowered his head, his expression dark. Yu Xiaojiang stared at my back, his teeth clenched tight. The 7 treasure glazed tile sect is just an auxiliary sect. When Yu Tianheng knocks you flat on the Spirit Arena stage, I'll see how you keep up your arrogant act. The announcer's call cut through the noise. The Shrek team's group spirit fight is about to begin. Please enter the arena immediately. I picked up the list and walked out first, ready to head to the stage. Dai Mubai and the others didn't hesitate and followed. The Spirit Arena was brightly lit. The cheers from the surrounding audience rose wave after wave. The Yellow Doe team was already standing on the left side. Yu Tianheng was at the front, with Du Yin close by his side. The Sher brothers stood like 2 walls guarding the middle, while Yu Feng and Oslo flanked the sides. Yi Lingling stood at the very back, so quiet she barely seemed to exist. The 7 members of Shrek took the stage from the right. I stood at the front, Dai Mubai beside me, Tang San in the center for control, Ma Hongjun and Xiao Wu flanking, and Zhu Qing and Ning Rongrong in the rear. Before the match even began, Ning Rongrong moved half a step closer to me. Take out the 9-star Begonia first. As long as Yi Lingling is still on the opposing side, it'll be hard to truly take them down. On the other side, Yi Lingling also walked up to Yu Tianning. Captain, deal with the 7 treasure glazed tile pagoda first. We can't let him keep buffing the front line. Both support soul masters had identified each other as their primary target. Yu Tianheng looked at me, a hint of disdain curling at the corner of his mouth. I don't know where you came from, you mutt, but you dare to challenge the Yellow Doe team. Today, I'll show you the power of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon. I flexed my wrist. Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon, huh? Since Yu Xiaojiang held this martial soul in such high regard today, I'll knock you off this spirit arena right in front of him. The referee in the air raised his hand. Both sides, release your martial souls. Spirit ring lights instantly blazed, illuminating the entire spirit arena. Fine. Since Yu Xiaojiang holds this martial soul in such high regard, I'll defeat you right in front of him today on the fight platform. The referee in the air raised his hand, and both sides released their martial souls. Soul Ring lights instantly illuminated the entire arena. The fight began. Yu Tianheng was the first to charge. First soul skill, Thunder to Dragon Claw. Blue lightning covered his arms, arcs of electricity crackling at his fingertips. He was like an unsheathed heavy blade, charging straight for my chest. Violet fire exploded beneath my feet. First soul skill, Dragon Fist. Full force collision. The boom momentarily deafened the audience. Flames and lightning spread wildly across the arena floor. Yu Tianheng and I both stepped back half a pace. The aggression in his eyes finally faded a little. The others from Shrek and Royal Doe team also clashed at the same time. Dai Mubai faced the Sher brothers alone. White Tiger Vivadra body bolstered his formidable physique, allowing him to withstand the two-sided assault of Xuanwu turtle shells. Zhu Zhuqing's 8 spider lances spread out, skimming low to the ground and lunging at Dean. Her netherworld spirit cat speed, combined with her external soul bone, forced Diggy Yin to retreat before she could even fully lay down her poison. Ma Hongjuan's Phoenix fire line swept towards Yu Feng. Xiao Wu used the firelight for cover as she closed in on Osler. Tang San stood in the middle, his blue-silver grass constantly emerging from the stone crevices, both blocking the Royal Doe team's movements and creating space for the Shrek members. Both sides were looking for an opening. Both were forced back by Ma Hongjuan's flames. Zhu Zhuqing also tried to get past Diggy Yin to reach Yi Lingling, but was blocked by one of the Sher brothers who split off. Outside the arena, Qin Ming and Flinder exchanged a glance across the platform. They could both tell that in terms of average level and combat experience, the Royal Doe team was stronger. However, we had 2 level 38 assault-type powerhouses. After I held off Yu Tianheng, Dai Mubai, amplified by Ning Rongrong, was unleashed completely. Although the Sher brothers had strong defenses, they struggled to simultaneously contain the White Tiger and Tang San's blue-silver grass. 7 treasures Yo Ming, 1 speed. Ning Rongrong's voice fell from the rear, and a 7-colored light enveloped. A golden shockwave blasted head-on into the Sher brothers' turtle shells. Tang San's blue-silver grass exploited their imbalance, wrapping around their ankles. Xiao Wu kicked Graphite in the head from the side. The Royal Doe team's formation showed its first gap. Yu Tianheng sensed the danger and immediately tried to break away from me to assist. No way I'd give him that chance. Violet fire exploded against his chest, forcing him to raise his dragon claws in defense. Your opponent is me. Get out of my way. Yu Tianheng's lightning surged. He unleashed 3 consecutive claw strikes at my face. I raised my fists to block the first 2, using the momentum from the third to retreat, then sent blue-silver grass from behind him to coil around his ankle. He had just shredded the grass when Dai Mubai, Yu Feng, stripped of the Sher brothers' protection, was forced into the air by Ma Hongjuan's Phoenix flames. He was then struck in the side by a sudden sweep of Tang San's blue-silver grass and sent tumbling out of the arena. Osler was tangled up by Xiao Wu, and after several rapid, consecutive throws, he was completely disoriented. Zhu Zhuqing swept past from the side, her 8 spider lances stopping at his throat. Osler could only concede. Diggy Yin attempted to cover the entire arena with her by Lin Snake poison, but I preemptively released my blue-silver grass to suppress the poison spread and had Ning Rongrong move upwind. Zhu Zhuqing seized the opportunity, her 8 spider lances piercing through the edge of the poison mist, forcing Diggy Yin to retreat repeatedly. Members of the Royal Doe team fell one after another, yet Yu Tianheng still couldn't get past me. His battle armor was shredded by my purple fire, his shoulders and chest covered in scorch marks and claw wounds. Lightning still crackled around him, but his aura was clearly faltering. I stood in the center of the arena, looking down at him as he knelt on one knee. Pathetic. Is this all the blue lightning Tyrant Dragon is capable of? Yu Tianheng looked up, his eyes burning with rage. You treatment. He called out again, his voice hoarse. You. Only then did he notice that Yi Lingling was already firmly bound by several blue-gold grass blades. The blade sealed her arms and mouth, preventing Nine-Hearted Haitong from continuing its release. Her face went pale. When I raised my finger, letting the blue-gold grass blade sway gently at my fingertip. From the very first time you tried to turn back for support, I had already sent the seeds over. Yu Tianheng laughed in extreme anger. You don't really think you've already won, do you? He pushed himself up on his knees, his chest heaving violently. A mere evil fire azure dragon dares to compete with a blue lightning tyrant dragon? A roar tore from his throat. The dragonified arm, wreathed in lightning, suddenly swelled. Blue dragon scales rapidly spread across his skin. His fingers elongated, joints shifting, and in an instant, it became a true dragon claw. Not a phantom formed by soul skill, but a real, physical transformation. I squinted, studying his arm for the first time. The blue lightning tyrant dragon possesses an extremely high purity of true dragon blood. After the 30th rank, clan members can gradually complete physical dragonification. With each additional part dragonified, both strength and lightning intensity would increase greatly. My own evil fire azure dragon is also a true dragon-type martial soul. If Yu Tianheng could dragonify, there's no reason I couldn't. The thought had barely crossed my mind when Yu Tianheng was already in front of me, his dragon claw arcing with lightning as he swept it towards me. My dragon wings unfurled behind me, my body instantly shooting upwards. Boom. His strike missed, and the arena floor cracked open, leaving a deep crater. Yu Tianheng looked up and saw my dragon wings. For the first time, his face showed shock. You can dragonify too? No, I said, flapping my wings, hovering in the air. This is a soul bone. Yu Tianheng visibly relaxed. It seemed the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan's most prized ability wasn't being used by an outsider after all. But the next second, rage reignited in his eyes. A soul bone. Why should a nobody like you, a mere soul master with both a mutated true dragon martial soul and an external soul bone, be able to suppress me? Bastard. If you have the guts, keep fighting me head on. I didn't end the fight right away. Since I had the opportunity to observe the dragonification secret technique up close, I wanted to see exactly where his strength lay. Yu Tianheng lunged again, but I no longer clashed with him head on. My dragon wings carried me across the arena, constantly changing direction. His thunder dragon claw came close each time, but never quite caught me. Once, twice, 10 times. Yu Tianheng's breathing grew heavier, his eyes bloodshot. His attacks became fiercer, but his movements started to lose precision. His soul power was clearly depleting rapidly, yet he seemed unaware, pushing his lightning to its limits again and again. I finally understood the problem. Dragonification doesn't just enhance the body, it also amplifies one's aggression and battle frenzy. I looked down at him from midair. After dragonification, does it make you more prone to anger? Yu Tianheng didn't answer, just letting out a bestial roar as he charged at me again. At the edge of the arena, Duvian's face grew increasingly worried. Tianheng, give up. Your state isn't right. Shut up. Yu Tianheng whirled around, slamming his dragon claw into the ground. I'm going to kill this bastard today. I'll crush every bone in his body. Dugu Yin flinched, frozen in place. I'd already gotten the answer I wanted and had no interest in indulging his rampage. Enough. I landed back on the ground, purple fire enveloping both fists. Yu Tianheng saw a blur. I shattered the stone beneath my feet and turned into a purple streak, crashing head-on into his defense. Dragon fist. My fist struck his abdomen, and the flames exploded on impact. Yu Tianheng's body arched backward, sent flying. Dugu Yin rushed towards the referee, shouting, "We surrender." The referee remained expressionless. The surrender must be spoken by the participating member on stage, or the participant must leave the bounds of the arena. Given the trajectory of his flight, Yu Tianheng was about to be thrown and out of the arena, but my dragon wings unfurled again, my speed outpacing his flight. The purple silhouette descended from the sky, and I planted my foot on his chest, slamming him back onto the arena floor. Yu Tianheng coughed up blood, his dragonification dissolving. Outside the arena, Yu Xiaojiang stood up abruptly. Lin Yin, what do you think you're doing? This is the Soul Arena. I glanced back at him, then looked down at Yu Tianheng beneath my foot. He's your uncle. Yu Tianheng looked up, his eyes filled with disbelief. He is my instructor. I'm sure you know what he went through in the family. I didn't spell it all out, just drove the sharpest barb home to Yu Tianheng. He left the family, wanting to prove his theories. So he became a teacher, started teaching students. Do you understand now? Yu Tianheng followed my gaze to Yu Xiaojiang outside the arena. Yu Xiaojiang's face was ashen, his lips moving, but no sound coming out. Yu Tianheng seemed to suddenly understand. His eyes, which had just regained clarity, began to tremble violently. He rolled his eyes back and fainted from sheer rage. I was momentarily stunned. His tolerance is this low? Is this also a side effect of dragonification? I lifted my foot and kicked Yu Tianheng off the arena. The members of the Royal Do team, who could still move, rushed over. Yilingling's bindings were released by me. Ignoring the fact that we were enemies, she immediately released her 9-hearted Haitong to heal all the wounded. The referee confirmed Yu Tianheng was out of bounds and finally announced, Shrek Academy wins. The audience erupted. Dai Mubai was the first to rush over and slap my shoulder. Brother, beautiful, Ma Hong-jun shouted the loudest. The blue lightning tyrant dragon is nothing special. Lin Yin was amazing today. Ning Rongrong pushed through the others and grabbed my arm directly. I knew you would win. The victor writes history. The Royal Do team, who have always been unstoppable, finally got a taste of being crushed. But I hadn't forgotten my true goal. I walked through the crowd and stopped in front of Du Yin. She was supporting the unconscious Yu Tianning, her eyes looking like they wanted to tear a piece off me. I stopped in front of her. Go back and tell your grandfather. 3 days from now, at night, I'll be waiting for him at the Satua City Hotel. Du Yin narrowed her eyes. What do you want with my grandfather? I didn't explain, only adding, tell him I'm the Seven Treasures Glaze sect leader's prospective son-in-law. The Seven Treasures Glaze sect. Du Yin clenched her teeth. I'll remember this grudge. If you have the guts, don't run away in 3 days.